Hey, hi, how's it going? This is a stream from the famous world record of the 8% speedrun of Vigilago. Uh, Hello everyone, how's it going? This stream is going to be painful, but we can do it. It has been almost 1 year since I started this channel. I mean, technically it has been 1 year since I started this channel. The anniversary, quote unquote, for this channel is a little weird, as I'll explain in a little bit. But we can call it March 31st. The right before April 1st is vaguely the anniversary for the channel. Could make it April Fool's Day. Unfortunately, I work all day tomorrow, so I can't actually stream tomorrow, but that would be very funny. At this point, Specialist is 100% the song that I relate to the most in regards to this channel. My mind has been warped by this channel and this community. Specialist will never be the same to me. It was already a funny song. It is now a giga funny song. An April Fool's joke where you don't go into work. I've thought about it. I've thought about that funny April Fool's joke a lot. Ooh, okay. So, if I counted correctly, first off, I'm a moron. There we go. If I counted correctly, I think there are around 20 videos that I uploaded in the first year, including 50 streams. Yeah, 20 videos and 50 streams. How long is the stream gonna be? I have no idea. I'm gonna watch the videos and I'm gonna do commentary and like provide insights about my thoughts when I was making the video. And I'm going to then rank all of my videos in my opinion. Obviously, like you guys could have some input, like if you think I'm way overrating or underrating somebody. I think I have note. I am proud of every video that I've released except one. I think that all of the videos except one of them I don't regret releasing. But it is unfortunate because just looking back and watching your own content always feels really cringe. It always feels really cringe, even if you don't regret, like you're like, oh yeah, no, that was totally fine. Also, watching this in front of other people makes me feel extremely cringe. So these videos are, there we go. So this is going to be some really harsh secondhand cringe. But I'm actually curious. On an inside note, I am actually curious about whether or not rewatching these old videos, I'll look upon them favorably, or if like the older stuff is going to be like really, really. Right. So we should start off not with this one, like most of you think, but with the first video on my channel. This 6-second meme video. So fucking precious when you smile. So, oh man. So just because of its age, I think this has more views than like some of the other new stuff. It's very funny. Uh, so fun fact about this video. Okay, so there is actually fun fact about this video. There are a few things here that are really funny. Number one, this video was actually made uh after You Should Try Arknights. I was done with You Should Try Arknights and had decided that I was going to upload it, but I didn't know how YouTube worked. I had no idea like how to format this stuff. I had no idea how to like where to post the video like on Reddit or Twitter or the Discord. And I just wanted to do something as like a test video so I can figure out what the fuck was going on. And at the time, Surtur was coming out. I was like, I have a cute idea. Let's just like make a 6-second meme video, and then so we can figure out all of the formatting, and so that I would understand exactly what the fuck I was doing. So this is technically the second video I ever made because I made you to try Arknights first, and I just wanted to figure out how the fuck to do YouTube. On the editing side of things, it's a shame that I don't have, because for space I need to delete the files off of my computer. Because DaVinci takes up a lot of fucking space, and a lot of these like PNGs and stuff will take up a lot of space eventually. I don't have the actual videos for them on DaVinci anymore, for a lot of them. But little funny thing here. This was the very first time I ever made like a logic leap in terms of how to do things. So, if you're curious here, if you're curious here, the drop warp with all of these little Surturs, okay? When I initially tried to do this in DaVinci, these were all individual little Surturs that I had made that were all like that were all individual things inside of DaVinci. And every single one of them had the drop work effect on it that made it do this wave. So got the drop work effect, and then all of these were individual little assets. That was a fucking mistake. I crashed my computer, like straight up hard crashed my computer by trying to do this. I was like, oh, you just made it hard for yourself? Yeah. Notably, this was my second video. I had no idea how the fuck I was not very good at DaVinci yet. I straight up crashed my computer trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, there has to be a better way. So then I was like, oh, I'm a fucking moron. And I went out and I got the hood rat thing that I use for editing. I use this in GIMP, but I use this in GIMP, and I found this thing, the hood rat thing that I use to edit sometimes. And I just made this as a picture, and then I put this in and put one drop warp effect on it so that it doesn't lag as hell. Yeah, this video is pretty. It's, to me, it's like it's cute, you know. I don't know if I put it in like S tier, but like, man, I don't know. Oh man, the tier list is gonna be hard. So I think that it gets away with a lot of like, so there are things that I could think that improve. I don't like the text, how there's no like outline on the text or shadow on the text, so it's really hard to read. Yeah, I think it's A or B though. I think it's like a fine video. Even though it was my first video, and even though I made it in like 10 minutes, I think it's a fine video. Oh god. Okay. Oh god. Okay. Yeah. Let's do the thing. Let's do the video.
Hey, hi.
Okay. First of all, first note, this intro that I called back to at the start of the stream, the hey hi. I still like this. I think it's kind of cute. So the idea is
hi.
Hello there.
So the idea that I had initially for an intro / outro was I say two words, so like hey, hi, and then I find a clip that says some form of like hello or hi or hey there or something like that. And at the very end of the video, I close it off.
General Kenobi.
With the continuation of the joke.
Hey.
What I quickly realized is that this is very difficult to find clips consistently with this kind of joke. it's harder than you think to find a clip of any kind of media where the person says hello. Oh my god, are we watching a joke? Where the person says hello and then something funny or something interesting happens immediately after. There are just there doesn't exist. There's not enough of them to make this my intro. As you will see, I start reaching later on, and I just start dropping it later on. But yeah, so the intro, in case anyone was wondering, I think it was a good idea. I just can't find ideas for this. And yes, this is a Monogatari watch a joke idea.
Hey, hi.
Hello there.
I'm a stranger on the internet.
And oh, fuck the audio quality. If you couldn't hear,
I'm a stranger on the
I actually edited that wrong.
Hey, hi.
So it goes, hey, hi, and then you can hear the lightsaber click at the end.
Hello there.
So it's hello there, click. I fucked that up. I should have edited that out.
I'm a stranger on the internet with some
I think I just heard myself take a breath
really
too, so
strong
I
opinions
must have
on
fucked
some
that up as
really
well.
dumb things.
And then, so this was me using Magic Marker to edit out the outlines. And I still do this sometimes when I'm really lazy, but most of the time, if it's going to be like the front center here, I can use GIMP now, and it gets a lot closer to the outlines of these, so you don't get these ugly ass white borders around things that I'm trying to cut out. And also, you can tell that both of these were Magic Markered away, because like this has like weird, ugly, fuzzy lines around it, and then this has the white outline.
And instead of subjecting the people I call friends to a fourth meditation on the symbolism of Ganyu's thighs, I decided to make this
We got Ganyu within this year, by the way, in case you didn't see it.
channel. I don't know what the exact focus of the channel will be, but at least this will be a slightly more productive way of screaming into the void.
Don't worry, old Dio. We still don't know what the focus of this channel is. It's okay.
The first topic I want to cover is everyone's favorite, gacha games. One in particular. I understand that a lot of people don't like these games for
What in the fuck? Oh god, this was a funny joke.
I understand that
A
lot of people
I think that I don't know how many of you noticed this, but I listed a whole bunch of reasons why people wouldn't like gacha games, and then I needed the text to scroll longer because the voice clip was longer, and so I ran out of ideas, but I need more text for this.
don't like.
How's your day been so far? Let me know in the comments down below. That's what YouTubers say, right? Personally, mine has been alright. Looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise. I should end with a few more actual. I should be more actual. Oh, this got kind of actual reasons the normies don't find out about these. No. This is a good joke. I don't even know how many of you figured that out. This was a pretty good joke.
A lot of different reasons, mainly their tendency to hijack the monkey in our brain. However, if you've somehow managed to find yourself watching this video, I'm going to assume that you're
Another funny note, actually. So, up note. Oh, wait, no, never mind. That's not true. Never mind.
I'm going to assume that you're already Stockholmed or at least way too curious for your own good.
That was bad. I don't know why. Hold on. So I do a full screen here, and then for some reason I don't full screen this. I don't know why I made this small with just a black background. I don't know what this is.
Way too curious for your own good. So if you give me a little bit of your time, I'm going to explain why I think that you should try Arknights. At its face, Arknights seems easy. You take your dudes and your dudettes that you pull.
So again, this is going to be a thing. I wonder what the first video I realize it is. My first couple videos I think had this text that's really bad. You can barely read this text because I'm just an idiot and I'm not using outlines or shadows. This is also an okay joke. We watch the videos on 1.25s.
Pull from the gacha, and they act as towers that defend you from the waves of enemies. They each have their own class and particular set of skills that help you in a variety of
ridiculous set of skills
ways, from offense to defense to utility.
You can even see me here. Actually, so if you go back, You sound like text-to-speech. Yeah. So if you go back, I had black text, and then now it's white text. You can see I'm just trying. I'm just trying to figure out how to make the text like readable from far away. And I can't do it. I'm like changing the color of it, and I'm like, I don't understand. It's because my dumbass isn't using outlines.
You have to manually press a lot of these skills at just the right time unless you want a reptile with a butcher knife to send you right back to the defeat screen. It might start off simple, but it really ramps up in complexity, those basic enemies soon turning into ones that explode, ones that freeze your whole team, and even the literal reincarnation of Satan.
So not only did this map take me 2 hours, but this little editing part where I'm switching between a whole bunch of different parts, was pretty rough to get the footage for, if you could imagine.
Reincarnation of Satan. A lot of these enemies are usually weak to one or two specific strategies, meaning that players are heavily encouraged to build a variety of different characters with different roles, and then pay attention to team composition, ignoring the enemies in map and trying
That, though, that wasn't a joke, by the way. I was actually doing Annihilation, and I was just streaming a whole bunch of Arknights content. And my dumbass forgot to put down the gravel on this Annihilation, and so Silverash just died to the drones. And then I was like, huh, let's go into the video.
brute force
That was not staged. That was me being a fucking moron.
She is the easiest way to get tilted as hell. No matter how much you love her, the girl with the pea shooter is not going to have a fun time against the massive guys with shields and 1300 defense.
I should put more puns in my video.
Okay, the game is a little bit difficult, so what? Get good.
That was bad editing. I don't think that was on time, was it?
Okay, the game is a little bit difficult, so what?
That was not. That was off. Oof.
Get good.
Yes, exactly.
This, at least for me, is one of the main appeals of the gameplay, the fact that you can just get good. What character you bring, where you place them, and when you activate their skills is often what decides victory or defeat, not bigger numbers. In other games, particularly other gacha games, I'm constantly worried if the reason that I'm struggling is because I'm bad, or if it's because I don't have the recommended gear level, constellation, merges, or noble phantasm level.
This is still, by the way, one of the big reasons why I like Arknights. This is unironic. This is true. Base Christopher. Yeah, this is base Christopher. I still to this day think that gachas. I think that requiring duplicates of 5 stars or SSRs is cringe, and I think it's one of the worst things about gachas. I think that things like Genshin or like FGO, no, FGO to some extent, but like Genshin and specifically Fire Emblem Heroes, requiring constellations and requiring multiple copies of a character is cringe as fuck. And Arknights is based for not caring. Outside of Bagpipe and some other vanguards, who the hell cares? Alchemy Stars is also really bad, but it had not come out by the time this video was being released.
In Arknights, once you reach late,
Genshin has the worst duplicate system. True, and it's just by so specifically Genshin has the worst duplicate system. Not even because of rates or anything. Well, they're just bad with the rates. But they, unlike even like FGO, they lock whole ass fucking mechanics behind duplicate systems, which is garbage. It's also the same reason why Alchemy Stars is garbage in this regard. The fact that Barbara gets a fucking res at max pot is cringe, and they should stop.
late game, what you can do in a couple of weeks, you have no one to blame but yourself.
You embarrassed yourself in front of
Yeah.
First off, text to speech, nice. If you notice, the Calcit here image does not move because I had no idea how to face track yet. So the Calcit image just stays.
Well, the only other thing that you could possibly blame is your own shitty luck. If each map is a lock and each operator is a potential key, then not having
Isn't that you got this joke? Ostima's the lock and key. Anyway.
access to a certain key would be a problem, as anyone who's ever fought Brock with a Charmander can attest to. Luckily, Yostar is capable of making both a good game and gacha rates that don't send me to the suicide hotline.
Fuck. I just laughed at my own joke. That's a good one.
Both a good game and gacha rates that don't send me to the suicide hotline.
Fuck, Genshin's so bad. Anyway.
The starting rate for 6 stars is kind of low.
How's it going,
There are a
Score?
bunch of secondary systems that can help you get what you want. From the usual pity rates, a guaranteed 5-star in the first 10 pulls on any banner, and even a currency that allows you to straight up buy certain high rarity characters, the game ends up being rather generous. I've even heard of a weird rumor floating around that you can pull anything besides Cruise with recruitment. When all of these systems combine with the gameplay, it creates...
I don't think I let that one hang quite enough. I think I moved on from that joke way too fast. I think I should have let that one hang, or maybe even put like Coco Dio instead of like I move on from that joke really
It's
fast.
a really rewarding gameplay loop where you can get stuck on a map that you know that you can beat if you just learn what's expected of you. And when you finally do achieve that victory, you do it with a team that is uniquely your own. Or you can just, look up a guide.
I thought for a second I was gonna say just use Surtur, but that meme's had not been invented yet. Just finished a wife quest. Nice.
Some of the events in this game go stupid. It almost feels as if because they're temporary, the developers can just go crazy. There have been events that have turned the game into Capture the Flag, a roguelike, and even multiple events that are similar to Hades' Heat system, where you can choose buffs.
Actually, I was wondering why that was like that. So this part right here about the events was actually added in later. I don't know if you can tell, but the audio is different.
That you know that you can beat if you just learn what's expected of you. And when you finally do achieve that victory, you do it with a team that is unique. Some of the events in this game go stupid. It almost feels as if because they're temporary, the developers can just...
I don't know if you can hear it or not because it's pretty subtle. I did a good job at matching my tone here, surprisingly. But this section was actually the last section that was added. I made the whole entire video and I was like, oh shit, I didn't talk about the events. Maybe I should do that. And so I had to re-record. I had to script a new part of the video and then re-record it.
Buffs for your enemies for higher rewards. Even the events that aren't extremely...
I was mentioning Hades there because I was literally playing through Hades at the time.
Usually have some kind of gimmick to try and force you to rethink those basic strategies. And of course, every event has those sweet, sweet upgrade mats. One last thing I wanted to talk about in regards to gameplay is a common complaint that I often get from my friends when I try to recommend them gacha games. Arknights is grindy. Once you get caught up to the current chapter, you will mostly just be grinding for upgrade mats and waiting for new content. This isn't a personal critique of mine.
I think what most people... This was, I think, the thing that most people disagreed with. But what I was trying to explain here was that So, from a gacha player's perspective, Arknights is not that grindy. But from a non-gacha player perspective, which is what I was trying to make this video for, right? This was supposed to be a video for getting people into Arknights, possibly that had never tried a gacha before. I was trying to explain to them that gachas in general are going to be really grindy. Most of the game is going to be spent trying to grind for upgrade mats for your characters, and that's just true. And most people were like, well, compared to like FGO, it's actually not that grindy. And it's like, yeah, but that's not my point. How happy are you all 1 year anniversary to you, Skorak? I know that all of the Kaiser's children have the same anniversary.
More as it is a warning for those that are unfamiliar to the genre. The game has a robust auto battle system and isn't super annoying about drop rates.
Robust auto battle system, edited me failing the auto battle system. That was a good meme.
Tolerance rates for these kinds of things. So if that's a deal breaker, it's understandable, King. You should totally watch the rest of the video, though. The world itself of Arknights is genuinely really interesting. It's a grim, futuristic world that constantly seems to be on the brink of war and destruction. There's this mysterious magic plague that gives people magical powers and then slowly...
God, like this text is really bad.
Kills them. It's filled with like revenge, betrayal, and catgirls for some reason. That being said, the main story is a mixed bag. It starts off really slow and took a few chapters to really grab my attention. It does seem like it's only gotten progressively better as they've gone on, either due to better writing or better translations. And the recent stuff is...
volume for the video is pretty low.
Particularly good. But
actually, I think I should just... I can fix it. Give me a second.
When you take the story as a full package, it's only an okay out of 10.
Is that a lot for you guys?
The characters, on the other hand, are great. Asterisk. As I said before, the world itself is really compelling, and many of the characters that don't get their time to shine in the main story get their own short stories in their lore that flesh out parts of the world. For example, the 6-star Shining was actually a powerful swordswoman who fought in order to protect people. After years of doing nothing but fighting and killing, she decided that in order to better live up to her ideals, she would sheath her sword and use it as a healing staff. That's just cool. It's unfortunate.
I still agree on this point. I still really agree on this point. I think that, and this isn't just an Arknights problem, I think that gachas have a problem where they have way too many characters and they don't know how to flesh them out. Except for Surtur. Alright, someone... I got one of my non-existent mods, the band guy.
Then this is where that asterisk comes in. You can only ever learn about the lore of many of these characters that don't even get to show up in the main story by getting these characters in the gacha, promoting them, and then earning their trust, which can be a really time-consuming process. Flavor-wise, I get what they were trying to do here.
Bob.
It's almost as if the character themselves are opening up to you as you get to know them better. It's just really unfortunate that I may have entirely missed some of my favorite characters lore-wise if I didn't already like their designs enough to roll for them. I should note that this won't be a
Also,
problem.
very funny for Skorak to be here. Unironically, this was before I had even met you, Skorak, and I'd put Red in one of my favorite characters lore-wise. So, you know, just so you know how I'm a true homie, if you're still here. Just so you know I'm a true homie.
I should note that this won't be a problem for everyone, especially those that aren't lore nerds like me and can find other reasons to roll for a character. I guess this is also the section where I should briefly mention the graphics and art. I've shown multiple different character designs as well as their chibi art style in the actual game itself, so you can come to your own conclusions on that one. Alright, so the final section here is my ace in the hole. The music in this game. Oh god, the music in this game. Alright, I'm a level with you.
I wish skins had new voice lines. That would be very nice. I already barely buy skins because there's not that much of a reason to. I like a lot of the base designs for the characters. If they had new voice lines, that might be nice, but it is a pain in the ass from a developer standpoint to get in the same voice actor a lot of the time.
If you are still watching the video and have decided that Dark Knights just isn't for you, that's fine, but you need to listen to some of the music. There are literally hundreds of tracks that are top quality from every genre. Do you like pop?
It took me so long to get the monkeys to clap on the beat, and I don't think anyone noticed it. See, they're moving in time with the dun, 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 dun. Hold on, let me slow it down real quick. Bum, 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 bum. Clap. That took me so long. You have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea how long I spent on that.
Do you like Skyrim? My man, do you like jazz?
This is the entire B-movie script, by the way, in case you never got this joke.
Whoever is in charge of the music department at Yostar, thumbs up. 10 out of 10. Alright, you're doing great work. I'm gonna link a playlist to some of the music in the description. Again, even if you decide to not play Arknights, check out some of the music. You'll probably have a fun time. Look.
Is that Comic Sans? No, it's not Comic Sans. It's the basis. It's the basic. I don't remember what it's called. It's like Red
Custom Robo for the GameCube.
By the way, show of hands. Does anyone even know what the fuck Custom Robo is? Hold on, I'm gonna poll in chat. This game was fucking sick. I'm just curious. This game is the real shit.
And by that, I mean not every game can be perfect. Arknights certainly isn't. Its story starts out slow. Getting stuck on a map can be extremely frustrating. Cruce exists, and if I get spooked by this goddamn furry one more time...
If only you knew how bad things really were. My Ak is one off max pot right now. I forgot my old promises. It's time to go to war. Fuck.
I might commit a hate crime, but even when taking all of the bad with the good, I'll be damned if Arknights just isn't one of the best tower defense games on the market right now. I mean, what are your alternatives? This? The gameplay is satisfying. The gacha isn't CBT. Mostima is best girl.
Oh, best girl.
And the music is better than some AAA titles. And when you put all of that together, that's why I think that you should at least try Arknights.
So,
General Kenobi.
oh yeah, this is gonna be weird. So, I think that old Dio put in a lot more jokes than new Dio. Like the jokes were pretty on point in this video, but the audio quality wasn't that good. I think that we should move this one up to A and we put this at B. I think this should be the baseline. I think this should be the baseline for one of the videos. Because the editing is pretty bad. The editing is pretty bad. The voices, the voiceover is not great. The text is really, if there was one that I just wish I could go in and change the text so that people can actually read the jokes, but I can't do that, obviously. Oh, Dio's too jaded for jokes. I still have some jokes, but the video has 69K views, so put it higher. This is not a how many views did it get tier list. That would be really easy to make, obviously. I think B is fine. I think B is like for B for baseline.
Hi. Hello.
Hey.
Continuation from the joke.
So, if you play Arknights, which is something you should be doing, the question, who should I build next, may have crossed your mind once or twice. The correct answer is always Mastima, but the acceptable answer is that you
Sounds like you're describing a C tier video. Is C average? Well, there's no F. Actually, no. There should be an F. There should be an. I do think there's one F. One F. I think there's one F video that I have. Actually, regret. This makes sense. So this is now like the average. This makes sense. Yeah.
should be leveling someone that fills gaps in your current
Wait, are we watching it? No, it's just 1.25. It's not 2 times. No.
roster. If you're having trouble with high defense enemies and you have an unleveled caster laying around somewhere, then I trust
Continuation of the joke. That one hurts a little bit more. I'm doing my best. God damn it. Okay.
that you'll eventually be able to put the square peg into the square hole. However, what if I told you there was another option? An option that the Jedi would never teach you. You see, instead of being a good little doctor and leveling that caster, you could be dealing with all of your problems with memes. In this video, I'm going to attempt to convince you to level up some alternative units. These operators aren't going to be at the top of anyone's tier list.
Hold on, wait, what was that tier list? Oh, okay, I see the joke. It's because I see it. They're going to be on the top of the tier list, so I inverted the tier list and put Ak at the top because he's at the top of the tier list. I like that one. That was okay.
But that doesn't mean that they should be dropped off in a PC box and abandoned.
Oh, did I learn how to?
Or,
Oh,
in
no,
other
I didn't.
words, it's time for a good old-fashioned meme review. Alright, let's start off with the nice and safe shallows of the meme ocean. All of the robot operators serve as a fantastic introduction into the cult of memes. Each of them can actually be incredibly useful in their own little way. Lancet can save your runs, Castle is literally free damage, and Thermite is... You may have avoided them in the past because they're all 1-stars and they look really weak, and I'm here to tell you, that's because they are. They're weak as shit.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
However, they do have one really cool trick up their sleeve that's tied back to
I don't like this. Oh god, this was the video. Oh, I did not know how to chroma key yet, and there's this white. Oh god, this white outline is so bad. I was like, man, this video is not that bad, but whichever video has this, but I knew this is the worst editing I've ever done in any of my videos, by the way. Oh, I can't believe I let this fucking ugly ass. Oh, okay.
deepest lore. You see, all the robots are actually haunted, possessed by the ghost of all those extra tokens that you burn for headhunting permits each month. That's true. You can trust me because I'm a stranger. The result of this tragic lore is that none of the robots
I could have made that free lore look a lot better.
count against your max deploy limit, because they all only half exist within our realm. Sure, their stats are weak, but their ghost typing paired with their strong on-deploy effects makes them barely even meme unit.
The video volume is still too low? Okay.
They're just kinda strong in any team that has a free slot available. All of the Bebops are dirt cheap to level up, can fit into almost any team, and if you've been playing for a while, you probably have at least one copy of each of them lying around somewhere. You can even get them from recruitment, so you don't have much of a reason to not give them the good old college try. Special shout out here goes to my boy Chiev, who can advance this meme to go even further beyond. He's a 5-star Vanguard that is very often forgotten with a talent that buffs all of the robots.
Impressive.
While it's not optimal, him and the 3 robots can do some pretty spicy map clears. Honestly, he would have his own spot on this list if he leaned a little bit harder into that meme and one of his skills also buffed his buddies. And if I could roll him.
I still don't have Chiev, by the way. Is this one quieter than the last? It's possible.
T-Beak is
In case you're curious, I had to buy. It was on sale at the time for like $2, but I bought Untitled Goose Game and downloaded it just for this meme. In case you were curious,
pretty fun. She attack real fast, she deal damage, and she cute. Since she's a 5-star welfare guard, I know that a lot of you probably have her. However, she's not really the star of the show. Buried somewhere within her second skill
Budgets
is the
through
real
the
goal we're
roof.
looking for. Any skill that charges through attacking has great meme potential. When paired up with characters that specifically buff these types of skills, such as Duracell, Firecracker, or even Suck, you can transport...
You could see me trying to, because I didn't know what to do here. You can actually see the difference between the background and the, and this. You can see me rotating the PNG.
Or even Suck.
You can see me rotating the PNG because it doesn't match. I should have just made it bigger.
You can transport said skills into the funny dimension. You can use these same exact setups for characters like Chen or Blue Poison, but in my opinion, is the funniest because her S2 stuns in an AoE for nearly 2 seconds.
I love songs.
As you can imagine,
do any of you even know what this was a reference to? This reference. Hold on. Is it the wall? No, it's not the wall. It's not the wall. No. It's the giant dad one, right? Also, god damn it, only after. Why are you using copyrighted fucking music? I 100% think it's this one. Yeah, there it is. I can't. I'm fucking get copyright strike. But it was yeah, I got my copper pwned up. So it's the infamous Only Afro Giant Dad video. Yeah, this is actually a reference. At the time, this is an old Dark Souls YouTuber. This is a pretty infamous video from the Dark Souls community, and as you can see there, he gets parried, and then he just cuts it. And he just says, "I got back up and pwned him." So I was trying to show how BB could, whatchamacallit. I was trying to show how BB can stall. And you see, Chen dies here because I'm a moron, and I do not win this map. I would show you some spoilers. I do not win this map, but I was supposed to be showing you that BB was good, so I just hard cut, and I said I totally beat the rest of that map. That's an old ass reference. True, that's a deep cut. This does
require some setup, but when you put everything together, it's a decently powerful guard by herself with the potential for some really funny strategies. Oh boy.
She doesn't clear it. Yeah, she doesn't.
With conviction. They are the equivalent to a deep-fried meme. While all of the other characters on this list may be adopted into meme strategies, Conviction was born into memes, molded by them. Conviction's first talent, Safe Landing, allows them to cost less and
the goose noise is pretty good.
Makes them easier to redeploy. Their first skill deals decent damage, and their second skill deals a massive AoE that silences enemies. Now, that all sounds pretty good, so I bet y'all are confused right now. Either you don't know what Conviction does and you're wondering where the joke is, or you do know what Conviction does and you know that just like your parents, I've lied to you. Santa's not real, and those screenshots are edited. Conviction is a fickle being, and almost every positive that they have comes with a negative. Safe Landing stuns Conviction for 10 seconds after they're deployed. Their first skill is a slot machine, and their second skill, that massive AoE that silences everyone, yeah, that one has a 50% chance to fail.
I had to level up Conviction for this, by the way. And yes, that is the meme review clap, by the way. I had to level up. I had to fucking level up. I think this took me, because of the coin flip on Conviction's mechanic. I think it took me like 4 tries to get this to get this shot.
It stuns all of the allies in the range instead.
Because Conviction kept not stunning.
That's Hearthstone levels of RNG, where the rules are made up and the damage doesn't matter. Their only real saving grace is their first skill, which instead of having an RNG defeat screen has a decent RNG upside. Conviction is definitely a funny character to mess around with, and I know that I'm supposed to be leading you to the dark side here, but probably don't invest in them unless you really just like funny joke. If I get spooked by this goddamn furry one more time, I might commit a hate crime. Okay, I guess it's time to put this furry through his redemption arc. Being the only 6-star on this list, Ak does have quite the investment cost. But for those of you that are already in too deep, or those of you that have gotten spooked by him, I'm here to tell you that it might be worth giving him a look. So, what does he do? Starting off, Ak's trait is that he dies. He is naturally skilled at the forbidden art of not alive anymore. Okay, look, if you're...
Was that artifacting?
Look, if...
I forgot that happened. There was no way... Oh, can I not go frame by frame? Does it not allow me? Okay. I guess I gotta be really good at pausing. There, this right here. Dio, you sleep. He was always good. I think I mentioned that he's fine. Anyway, um, this is a rendering error, and I don't think that there was any way that I could. I tried to get rid of this. No, I remember this. I tried to get rid of this multiple times. It just wouldn't go away no matter what I did.
Okay, look, if you're actually trying to use him seriously, his talent gives all of his auto attacks random CC, and his first skill gives him attack speed. Combined, you can feasibly use him as a weird, jank version of a slow supporter with a penchant for Seppuku. But if you're trying to use him seriously, I have some advice.
Okay, but why though?
Personally,
There's my answer to you, AK. So, like, listen, he's probably pretty fine, but I have some advice for you. Okay, but why are you trying to use Ox seriously? Because he's good? He's probably not as good as most slow supporters or snipers. Like, he might be better than, like, what, Arquetta?
I think his true value lies in his potential for some pretty high-tier memes. For both his second and third skills,
He wields a gun.
Ak uses his gun to shoot his allies
That caught me off guard.
15 times. If they manage to survive, they gain a massive buff, and if they don't, they weren't worth keeping around anyway, right? I'm not gonna lie, it can be really fun to think up strategies that involve Ak. A lot of characters, mainly backline characters such as snipers or casters, will just die. So you need to transcend reality and buff the defense of your buff target so that Ak can buff them. Welcome to Funnytown. It's Ak's needy nature that makes him both really fun to theorycraft about and
He's good
also
at
what
killing.
keeps him out of top tier. You need a medic to stop him and his ally from dying. You need good positioning so that he doesn't shoot the wrong operator. And if your buff target is too weak, then you're going to need additional buffers to contain Ak's bloodlust. That's a lot. And setting all of that up probably either sounds like a really fun challenge or a nightmare. All of this put together, Ak is a pretty alright guy, I guess. I did have a lot of fun trying him out during this video, so maybe it's time to set old grudges aside. As the old haiku from Confucius goes, skirt bop, bang bang pop, watching waifus as they drop. Got a Glock, big as my...
That might be the best joke I've ever made. But oh,
grudges aside.
this is
As
good.
the old haiku from Confucius goes, skirt bop, bang bang pop, watching waifus as they drop. Got a Glock, big as my...
That wasn't a meme from anything else, by the way. I made that up. And in case none of you caught the true, like, the description of this video is strictly the word clock. By the way. In case none of you saw that. Just to finish the haiku. Be a SoundCloud rapper. This video is definitely better than my first one. I think it's like an A tier video. Maybe S tier. We're gonna hold off on S tier. I think it's an A tier video. I think it's a good video. It's a fine video. Alright, the first video to never get any views for me. Why is it muted? Whoops.
So, as a fresh, bright-eyed gotcha-tuber, I decided the best possible idea would be for me to shoot myself metaphorically in the foot, live for your amusement. Are you not entertained? You see, one of the most consistent types of videos to make in this industry seems to be the classic should you pull video.
No, actually, I remember. I was like, man, why did the stuff go... I linked my video. Here's a little note. Talking about stuff out of order. I was wondering why this video was so good. This was my third video. This was my third video. This was not my second video. Well, technically my fourth if you count the main video. I made Should You Pull on Any Banner in Any Gacha game before I made Meme Operators. But I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, you should probably do another Arknights video, because it will do better than the vague Gacha Anywhere video. And he was so fucking right that it's not funny. He's like, yeah, YouTube is not going to like doing a video that does not have a specific game. So I made I made this video second, but then I held off on releasing it until I finished this one, and then I posted this one. This one's better, by leaps and bounds, but the other two, or probably even this one, because it's my third video.
As every good little Stockholm victim knows, the gacha is a cruel mistress that sustains itself solely on the tears
I still have not learned how to do outlines.
of the innocent. So if you know that that's hell you're walking into, you might as well be prepared. However, I'm not like other gacha tubers. I'm different, quirky, and unpopular.
That's still a good one. No, that one didn't cringe. I like this one. No. This one's good. Comparing myself to Tectone is a good meme.
And unpopular. So instead of making a bunch of smaller should you pull videos, I'm going back to the original sin, the Big Bang, the primordial soup that all gacha tubers are born from.
Oh wait, let's see. Okay. 'Cause I didn't know most of the other gacha tubers at this point. Like I didn't know. I wasn't in the know for. I wasn't a part of the Harmonists or anything. So we have Kaiser, who started my channel technically. I think is and Dreamy. These were the only two that I really watched other than Ekogen, but I don't want to fill this with a whole bunch of gacha tubers. GNA reviews here. From FGO. Pheno plays from FGO. Tectone, of course, because I'd already made the Tectone joke. This is Phoenix Master 1 from Fire Emblem Heroes. Oh fuck, when I still played Fire Emblem Heroes. And this down here is a Genshin YouTuber who used to be a Monster Hunter YouTuber who is no longer a Genshin tuber because of drama with Tectone. It's complicated. This is Juna and Tinks. Jinx and Tuna. Out of all of these, Dreamy makes a lot of content on Genshin, so I stopped watching Dreamy that much. I don't play Fire Emblem Heroes, so I don't watch Phoenix Master anymore. I still watch Pheno, because Pheno's awesome. And Jinx quit YouTube, so I hadn't called you to be part of the base club yet. True.
Should you pull on any banner in any gacha game? This was a mistake. Over my years as a gacha connoisseur, I've noticed a trend to bash on people that like to pull from meta characters and stats. I know their heart is in the right place, but what they don't seem to understand is that sometimes stats are the waifu. Legitimate fun can be derived from either optimizing or even breaking a game. And in a genre where time is often a literal collectible resource, it only makes sense to want to pull for units that clear content more efficiently. Listen, I understand that you love your totally viable team of 4 garbage cans with cat ears, but it might also be a good idea to invest in a few good characters to help with progression. This does bring us to a roadblock though. What
That's a pretty hot take. That's a pretty hot take.
makes a good character?
I have no idea!
Luckily, I don't need to know in order to answer the question, because if you're watching this video, I know that you have access to the wonderful nightmare that's known as the internet. As you wander through many of the
That's alright. He just said build meta. Yeah, I did. Build meta. Cancel him.
cultural touchstones of our generation, you can find what's called a tier list. Now, not all tier lists are born equal.
So, if you ever see a tier list in one of my videos, here's a pro tip. If you click any of the tier lists in any of my videos, they're fucking nonsense. I don't know if any of you have ever noticed this before. Imagine YouTube reports me for watching my own videos. I've thought about that. But in case any of you have ever looked at any of my tier lists and any of my videos, they're just all fucking nonsense. They're just all absolute fucking, like, I don't even know why is Seagram's ginger ale some Ford car. This is just a picture of a house. House is ST. This is just me making up shit. Oh man, this is a good meme. Almost all of my tier lists are complete fucking memes. Your specialist should be god tier. Yeah, I don't know what this is. This is bullshit. I don't know who made this tier list. This is bullshit on here. Sabers in C tier? What the fuck is this shit? Got Mira. But it isn't D is cringe. Bananas and C is D is bananas aren't that good. House is pretty viable in the game of life. I don't know why Twix Minis is here. This isn't even. This isn't Ari. This is some some icon in League of Legends that just has Ari on it. This is cursed as fuck.
But research and groupthink are powerful tools. You can search for multiple tier lists for your game and see if they all can collectively agree that your waifu is shit. That, or you can just go with whatever tier list you know your friends use so that
I remember bullying my friend. I don't know if he's around. I won't use his real name. We'll call him Gilton. My friend Gilton, who, if you could not see,
bragging about pulling that top tier character feels that much more
at the time had just finished reading Chainsaw Man. I just started bullying. For reference, Gilton does not play Arknights. Gilton does not play Arknights at all. So me sending him this, he just responds, "Why are you like this?"
satisfying. All of this being said, power is a slippery slope. Power creep.
Yeah, if you can't tell, Chainsaw Man had just Chainsaw Man had just come out. So me and my whole entire friend group were freaking out about how good Chainsaw Man was.
And suffer from. So if all you care about is getting bigger numbers, your wallet might be in for a rough time. So it's probably a good idea to at least find one other reason to spend all of those precious gacha materials. On the other side of the spectrum, there exists the might makes wrong dropouts.
I remember this. I actually did laugh. I was trying to find another word for hippie, and I just Googled other term for hippie, and dropout is one of the other terms for hippie in Google. I just found that really funny. They're just called dropouts. Well, that's really not. That's kind of mean. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. The anime. I really hope the anime for Chainsaw Man is good. Chainsaw Man's really good. Nonconformist. Nonconformist makes a little bit more sense because they're like the counterculture movement and stuff like that. But dropouts just fucking me.
Really? And even though I've been joking about them, they have a solid point. For a lot of people, characters aren't just snap blocks used to flex.
We salute good. Flower Child, yeah. This is very funny personally to me.
On your friends. They're, well, characters. And it's only human to be drawn in and personally affected by a good story. Even people that swear by the meta can still use things like lore as a deciding factor in a close call. There are many different types of these plot enjoyers. Some get attached to characters that they get to know in the main story, reading all of their lore and their interactions with the other characters. Some just like the designs of the characters and the aesthetics that they have. And well, some people just enjoy a good old-fashioned plot. On the extreme end of this, I even have a friend who uses gacha games as less of a game and more of a PNG collection. That might seem weird to some, but as Uncle Demo always said, different strokes for different folks.
I miss Uncle Demo. I miss Uncle Demo so much.
The last main reason that you can consider rolling is meme value. Now, you might be wondering why people would spend a whole bunch of time and or money on a bad meme. And well, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like this picture. This picture right here, the scorpion in this picture is meme pulling. While some have fun optimizing, others have fun doing the exact opposite, making the game as hard as physically possible because it's funny. It's why things like Dark Souls runs with the DK bongo drums exist, and it's also why from time to time you can see characters being released and you just have to wonder, did the devs not know that they would be this bad?
I knew it was coming. Because at the time... This bad? So, actually, who is this person? Oh, you're talking about Demo D. Demo D, I can't watch one of his videos, but Demo D, douchebag chocolat. He was a anime YouTuber, who made, in my opinion, really funny content. But he unceremoniously quit doing YouTube, roughly around 6 years ago. He's uploaded like 1 or 2 videos since then, but he kind of like stopped. Anyway, we can all agree that these characters are shit, right? Also, I was actually kind of legitimately mad about this meme. So why did they nerf Little Mac from Smash 4 to Ultimate? I'll never understand. Anyway,
I've noticed that people only tend to do this kind of thing when they're about a year into their game. They already have the powerful units and some that they like for other reasons, and they might start eyeballing characters at the bottom of the tier list. Normal people would call this getting bored and then either take a break from the game or move on. But we both know that that's not happening. So at the end of the day, at least those 4 garbage cans have cat ears and go nya, right? Alright, so you've taken your notes and you've noticed the extremely subtle Triforce reference. You've done all your research on the tier list, you've read the lore, you've killed a metaphorical.
this meme is so stupid. I got a stupid ass meme. Those people, crazy people that kind of like Amber. I mean, Amber's personality is fine. It's just that, like, from a gameplay perspective, Amber's not great. I don't even know what the fuck this meme was supposed to be.
Frog, and yet you still can't decide on whether or not you should roll. What should you do?
I have no idea.
Look, these are the 3 main things that I think about when I'm deciding on if I should ever roll. But everyone is different. Some people are going to weigh these categories differently, and some might find entirely different justifications for their $300 JPEG. At the end of the day, you can't spell gotcha game without game, and games are supposed to be fun, or so I've been told.
This hurts. FGO's a good game. FGO's a good game. FGO's a good game. FGO's a good game. You can see I have 1 quartz there. You can see I have 1 quartz there. Comma. I still don't have comma. I still don't have comma.
I understand that it can be extremely costly to roll and regret in these games, but all the research in the world won't help you unless you do some introspection and you find out exactly what fun is for you and why you're playing the game. The real answer to the question, should you pull, is whether it's for optimization, characters, memes, or something beyond my understanding, you should just listen to your heart, because there's nothing else you can do.
I actually do wonder. I think most people did not understand this meme either. This was... So, listen to your heart, because there's nothing else you can do.
I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. So, listen to your heart before you tell him goodbye.
This is deep? No, it's not. It's a Rocksteady song. I can't play the song. I can't play the song. But I just literally took the lyrics of the Rocksteady song. That's the joke. That's the yeah. No, I do know that Demo D is on Twitch. But specifically his videos were top quality. Sing it? I'm not at 10K yet. You fucking idiots. This video's alright. This video, I like the meme at the end. I think it's probably around C tier. This is a Dio video. 2.5K? Nah, it's fine. You don't need to do that. B, I could see a reason for B, but I think I might end up lowering both of these videos once we go into the later stuff. I'll put it B for now, and we'll see if I want to change my mind. I have no idea why this video is so fun.
Satisfying to watch this man one. Hi-ho. So, lately, I've been having a bit of an identity crisis. Even though I'm a small YouTuber, I have yet to directly copy anyone's video ideas.
Not even a top 5 SMH, true. And it actually took me a while to figure out how to do this. I'm actually impressed I figured out how to do this.
In order to immediately correct this mistake, I've decided to make this completely original video idea. Do not steal. Fair warning before we get started. These are all just my opinions.
Duh.
If you disagree, feel free to tell me that I'm objectively wrong in the comments.
I don't like that joke.
Oh, and I pseudo-clickbaited you. I don't actually have strong opinions on every single operator in the game.
Why did I change to these weak-ass looking arms? These wimpy arms. Anyway.
So I'm going to group some of them up. Without further ado, these are my sometimes brief opinions on almost every operator in Arknights. Really fun and flexible units. I love using them in any team that I can, especially Thermix. Thank you so much for carrying me through the early game, and I'm sorry I don't use you more. Special shout out to these three, because their low cost as vanguards makes them actually useful in the late game. Also, Fang's skin is adorable. Interest in lore, I'm really looking forward to Purgatory. Obviously Best Girl. Basically a 4-star in terms of power level. Cute, and has a short summon line. Best 3-star in the game, fight me.
Bro.
Most of them are perfectly serviceable, even in the endgame, but are usually replaceable by characters that are higher rarity that do the same exact thing but better. Her E2 art has almost tempted me into leveling her up multiple times. Anyone who has been playing Arknights since the release knows that Mommy Milkers and Edgy Ferret are lifesavers. Aside from Lava, they're only real alternatives within their archetype.
I had to change the audio here. Because I assumed that most people... So I just edited that they were lifesavers, and it was like, most people actually won't understand that, so I had to re-edit the... I had to re-record.
That being AoE casters and AoE snipers, was a 5-star and a 6-star for quite a while. Sad Cat maybe has the best memes out of any Arknights character. Got me through some really dark times at the start of the game, because I could not hold a high rarity sniper that wasn't named Blue Poison for months. I don't really have that many opinions on, really like her personality, and I just wish that her gameplay design was a little bit more interesting.
You think this is funny? In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Enables some really funny team comps. I thought about putting her in my meme video. Maybe next time. Has surprisingly not been power crept yet. Also adorable. Ah yes, 4-star.
She really hasn't. By the way, Mouse still has not been directly power crept. I don't think there's another character who does what she does that like lowers enemies' attacks yet. Very interesting.
While Myrtle may be the best 4-star, Gravel is the best 4-star in my heart. She has saved me on so many occasions that I have lost count. I haven't gotten to mess around with him that much yet, but he has a really unique archetype and a cool character design. She gets a shout out on this list because I love the way she talks.
By the way, Jay is goated after my... Jay is goated after that CC stream. Jay is a god.
You can get him for free, his design is really cool, and he's nearly as strong as Manticore. He gets a thumbs up from me. Even if she's bad, she has a really cool niche. What is it with the low rarity healers being so strong? No, seriously, the 5-star healers are better than the 6-star healers in a general sense. I mean, I'm not complaining. Silence is best mom and applesauce is adorable, so I don't know. How did this wolf start a full Yuri harem by herself? Death by head pets?
That is still a fair question. Okay. Is Skorak still here? Is it safe? Is Skorak still here? He hasn't commented. Okay, so I think Red is really good, but notably, I am confused. Texas is kind of generic. Fuck shit. Shit. God damn it, Skorak is still here. She's hot? I mean, I guess. I think Texas, like, personality-wise, is kind of generic. And I am confused about how she started a whole entire whatchamacallit, harem by herself.
Might not be the worst way to die. I cannot wait to make meme teams with you and Neon. I actually think she's kind of underrated, because you're probably overhealing on a decent amount of maps. Ah yes, 5-star. I know I've already made the suck joke, so it's vitally important that I don't be negative so that my efforts aren't in vain.
All of those were blood jokes. All of those were pun blood jokes. Oh yeah.
Okay, so mini Flamebringer rant here. It's perfectly fine to be bad, alright? Salen and Ambriel probably aren't very good, but they're really cool because they have interesting niches. Flamebringer is doomed because he's boring and bad. He's just there. Please buff this character. I think our first kill is kind of underrated, but it's kind of hard to compete with.
Still like the honk, babe.
Big Boom. All of them are really fun to use for slightly different reasons. Man, fast redeploy is just a really good mechanic, huh? I actually kind of wish that she wasn't as rare as she is, because she's actually really fun to play around with and has a pretty unique archetype.
Oh wait, so the Yuri harem makes her interesting. Plus, she's low-key Kiryu Kazuma. So, well, the her personnel. How did she get the Yuri harem? She's like a main protagonist in a harem, like one of those old mid-2000s harems where like you look at the main character and you're like, how in the fuck? How how do you how do so many women love you? You're the most generic milquetoast person I've ever seen.
Duracell. The copper top battery. No regular battery looks like it or lasts like it.
While not the strongest, they are all definitely usable and have interesting and somewhat unique gameplay. I'm still not fully convinced that she exists. Why do all of Silver Ash's family have amazing skins? The HP threshold mechanic is a really fun thing to try to build around. Best skin in the game, and it was free. Vanilla is my favorite flavor of.
Oh wow, that did not age well. The Manticore video, that didn't age well. We'll get to that.
Ice cream. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Pretty good mascot character for the game, all things considered. I'm looking forward to the new chapters in the story. For the rest of the 5 stars, I've either failed to roll them, or I just don't have that much to say about them. Okay, real talk. I may or may not be one of those guys that decided to play this game because Siege was voiced by Saber, and I also might be one of the people that re-rolled until they got her.
This is true, and I'm still whatchamacallit, my Siege is max pot, and I'm super happy about it. No Estesia opinion? I didn't have Estesia at the time. Beeswax is great. I didn't have Beeswax at the time. I couldn't roll any of them.
I actually really like the characters that have just really jank ranges. It constantly makes you evaluate whether or not they're good or bad on any given map that you're playing on. Another character with a really interesting gimmick that the player has a lot of control over. Wish her skin was better though. Kind of awkward to use if you have Chen, but she thick though, so it's aight. Truly.
Awkward to use if you have Chen. That's a weird opinion. Because Scotty is not awkward to use because of Chen. Scotty's just bad. Or was just bad. Apparently her module makes her a lot better. But
A thinking man's operator. Okay, I thought that she was overhyped for the longest time until Dark Knight Memoirs came out. And after Dark Knight Memoirs, I guess we simp. Our relationship is complicated. It took me a lot longer than I would have liked in order to get her, but I don't regret a single one of those pulls. She might not be the best defender in the game, but she has a lot of different uses, including memes.
And there comes his Overkin, Dragonborn.
all right, bud. Scotty is my mortal enemy, thus I will forever oppose her.
It might just be always satisfying to watch this man 1v1 a boss with no help and no HP. Fantastic gameplay design, and also his character design is cool as hell. Did that thick snake just get into a mech? Alright, sign me up. I'm currently on my 14th.
Another one that didn't age well. So, of note here, and I've seen some people ask me this question before. I like Eunectus, and to some extent I like Manicore. My thing is that if you're talking about character design specifically, I think that their character designs aren't great.
10 roll for this man.
In case you're curious, this is a, whatchamacallit, the Phantom of the Opera quote.
Please, God save me. I gave him a lot of shit earlier, but I do genuinely like their whole armor magic resist split. I do think that Shining does get the short end of the stick though. Nightingale gets her unique cage mechanic, while Shining gets no mention of her sword and gameplay at all. Alright, real talk. What is wrong with her dojins? I know you know what I'm talking about. It's like all of them.
So, for this joke, actually, so, funny story about this joke. Here, little story time, okay? All right, story time for this joke. So, I have not gotten that much backlash for most of my videos, right? Like, for the most part, it's been decent positivity. I had a guy who, on my YouTube comments, said that I had given him PTSD by putting this in my video. That I should never make this joke again. And I said, I'm sorry that you disagree. I don't know if I can find it again. I'm sorry if like you disagree or something like that. But I'm not gonna like remove the video or anything. So he then went to my Twitter and said that he was going to kill himself if I did not take down the video. Why did you reply? Because at that time I was still replying to literally every single comment on my videos. And I didn't know what to do about that because that was the very first time. It was crazy to me. Classic internet maneuver. And this guy, I didn't respond on Twitter, and then he just kept responding to me over and over again. He's like, "No, seriously, you need to remove the video. Remove the codes and edit the video, or I'm going to do it." And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Who is this person? Like, I don't. And then he just stopped messaging me. So I don't know, like, I don't know. So I never made a joke like this again. In case you were curious.
Like every single one of them. Ah yes, 6-star. I'm actually really surprised that Silver Ash's reign as king managed to last this long. Both very dependable. Also, both may be lesbians. Siege may have got me to start playing the game, but I vividly remember the very first time that I saw Chen's S2 and M3 was when I decided to keep playing this game.
I still to this day call him Bagpipe Coco. This is a multi-layered joke. I miss Coco. Anyway, she was the only VTuber that I actually really watched.
Jail is just a room, right?
This is a Sesame moment. Let me go back. I've described everything that I've ever seen from Sesame in the Discord.
Jail is just a room, right? Day number 723. Stoneaway Fiala skin. I think I like her so much because she's just a really cohesive character. Her lore, design, personality, and gameplay are all centered around her being a badass time dragon wizard. I genuinely wish my brain was big enough to use Yo. I'll have an opinion on them when I can roll them. Speaking of, let's go get an opinion on Blemenshine right now.
Oh, this is a funny story time.
I don't like her.
So, this is a really funny story time. So, I'm a fucking moron. So, of note, I got the idea for this joke. I got the, yeah, funny because the Blemenshine rerun starts today. I got the idea for this joke, and I was like, all right, I want a blue bag. So I needed the image of a blue bag opening. Okay, I needed this. I rolled Blemenshine on my very first 10 roll, and so I had to roll another bag in order to try to get the blue bag. On the second bag, I got an Ock. So I had to do 3 10 pulls in order to get the blue bag image. I was losing my mind but laughing when I kept rolling. It was hilarious. I was like, can I just please get the blue bag image? I just want the blue bag image so I can do the... No, these were 10 pulls. No, Skorek. I was doing 10 pulls. Because I'm a fucking moron. That's what I was talking about, Skorek. Because, and then I realized I was talking to it with a friend of mine, and he goes, why weren't you just single pulling? And I go, oh. I don't know why. I just burned 20 pulls for nothing. I put Plebby at S tier. Oh. A lot of people seem to like this video. Apparently this is like the video that got a lot of people into my channel. But like, it's alright. I do not think this is an S tier video. I think it's pretty funny, but I think it's about as good as meme operators. Not enough editing for the brain. Yeah, no, I think that like for me that there's not this video relies pretty heavily on only its writing. I think I'm still doing, by the way, just as a side note, I think I'm still. Yeah, I am. I'm still doing the intro and outro.
Don't ever do that again.
Anyway, low A or high B. Yeah, because so this video really heavily relies on only its writing because there is no editing and there is no like interesting things to say. Like this is just purely a joke video, right? And spoilers, I think that in terms of joke videos, this is the best joke video I've ever made. Who's calling me? Here. I think that the JUS video is by far the best joke video I've made. Like the meme videos, yeah. This video might go into S tier. I like this video a lot. Anyway. So yeah, I think that like this video is good. We'll put it like top of A tier at the moment. But I don't think it's S. I think it's caught up with S.
Hey. Hi.
I'm still doing the hey hi at this point.
Hello, how do you read me?
Oh, we have like a much more toned down using Space Odyssey.
Today, I'm finally putting on my big boy pants and talking a little bit about gacha game design. Now, that's a really broad topic, and me no brain very big, so I'm going to narrow it down to a discussion on something that's been bothering me for a while now. There has been a monster lurking within these PNG collections that we call games for years. This monster has devastated and even killed entire games. And the scariest thing of all is that no gacha seems entirely safe from its grasp.
I think that this intro is fine. I think that the way I do this intro is fine. Like I like the eyes staying in the background as as I'm talking, as if it's like this ever-present monster.
Years. This monster has devastated.
And these are all games that, in my opinion, have fucking died due to power creep. Dragalia will be shutting down soon? I did not know that. I did not know that Dragalia will be shutting down soon. That's rough. Anyway. Oh, that's really rough. Anyway. Civilization? No. if you're not a Civ 6 player, you don't know the true pain. Because, holy shit. The later characters in Civilization, the later Civs in Civ 6 are busted. No, these are just games. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not a gacha either, right? Well, technically, but Civ 6 is balanced, okay? That's really funny. Yeah, Civ 6 is broken as fuck. Brave Frontiers will rip. Fire Emblem Heroes is disgusting with power creep, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the funniest card game that is in existence. Hey, guys, can anyone explain in chat what Pot of Greed does? I remember when Takumi was top tier at Fire Emblem Heroes. Holy shit. When Takumi was top tier. Wow. Like OG Takumi? Wow. I can play Barbara in Civ 6, what do you mean? But yeah, these are all games that I've played that add 2 cards from top of your deck to your hand. Yes, correct. These are all games that I've played that either have died or suffer quite a lot from power creep. Does MTG have power creep? Yes, but the power creep in Magic the Gathering is weird because Magic is like the Dota 2 of card games. Magic doesn't make sense. Like every card game has power creep, but like it doesn't affect Magic the same way that it affects Yu-Gi-Oh, because Magic is like it's so there's so many different moving pieces in Magic that like you can't really power creep things because it's a pretty skill intensive game. Where Yu-Gi-Oh, it got to the point where literally if your deck can't win on turn one, or if your deck doesn't have a high chance to win on turn 1, 2, or 3, your deck is bad, which is insane.
And even killed entire games. And the scariest thing of all is that no gacha seems entirely safe from its grasp. The name that
In case you didn't catch that, this is Grasp of the Undying from League of Legends, so nothing it's safe from is grasp. Anyway.
safe from its grasp. The name that we've given this monster is power creep. Fair warning, I am not a game developer. The very thought of coding gives me PTSD flashbacks to 8th grade math. I'm just a guy with an anime avatar, some opinions, and barely passable editing. So take everything that I say with at least a grain of salt. Given the fact that most of my audience is already gacha game players, salt is something you should be familiar with anyway.
Oh, I didn't even understand that joke for a second.
Salt. Given the fact that most of my audience
I did
is
not
already
understand
gacha
that
game
joke,
players, salt is something
but
you
I
should be
got that joke. That was a good joke. So most of you were male. 91% of you were male apparently, and so because most of you were male, most of you were gacha game players, and then I did that.
familiar with
Oh,
anyway.
that's okay. I see you. Yes, I did. I just called you all maidenless.
To put it simply, power creep is any instance of new content being added to a game that's better than the content that already exists. Does it look like that's one too many zeros on the new husbando's attack stat? Power creep. New waifu making old strategies obsolete? Power creep. New girl thick? You might not believe it, but that is some power creep. When you're working with such a broad definition, it should be obvious that this is not a phenomenon that's unique to gacha games.
No one
Power
ever
creep is something
no one ever talks about the thigh power creep.
That can and has infested everything from trading card games to first-person shooters. However, it seems to me that gachas are specifically drawn to power creep, and that it has more negative effects on them than other genres. So let's dive right into my current gacha game theory on why that is. Let's start off with an easy one. Single-player games are nearly immune to the negative effects of power creep. While you could say that getting a new sword with slightly bigger numbers in The Witcher's DLC is power creep, that's not really how we use the term. It's really something that only affects live service games, or games that receive frequent updates and new content.
Hearthstone is also another game, specifically. I think that's why I'm bringing it up here. Hearthstone's power creep is pretty bad. Hearthstone, oh man. Hearthstone was a mistake. Not really, because it made the digital age card game boom. But man, Hearthstone's not a very good game. Anyway.
Secondly, power creep has an affinity for games with a free-to-play business model. Free-to-play games only function because the devs get a constant stream of new money from new content and microtransactions. However, since all of their revenue is in that new content, they have to find a way to make that content consistently appealing for their players. There are many different ways to make new content appealing to players, but it's extremely effective and perhaps more importantly consistent to just make the new content stronger than anything else.
Remember when fucking Boulder Fist Ogre was good for stats? Oh.
This guarantees that some percentage of your audience will probably be pressured into buying it. Lastly, and maybe even most crucial to remember, is that power creep isn't that harmful by itself. I know I've been hyping it up, but this is a really old issue that's existed within games since the patch was invented. In all that time, many different developers have found a ton of different ways to slow down or even stop power creep. It's only really deadly in cases where you have no way to reset the power level.
I've never played a digital card game. Is there any that can recommend? I think the easiest one to get into is Legends of Runeterra. If you have any attachment to League of Legends, is a good place to start. And the only reason I recommend Legends of Runeterra is because the devs for that game seem much better than the devs for any of the other games. Master Duel is one. If you like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I've heard is okay, but the economy in Legends of Runeterra is by far out of every single card game that's on the market right now is just obviously the best. Inscription's a good single player card game, and then there are like there's like Slay the Spire, Inscription, Monster Train. There's like a whole bunch of like these single player card games that are like roguelikes and stuff. Voice of Cards. But if you're looking for like a multiplayer card game, it would be, I think, probably Legends of Runeterra. Even though I think I like Magic more. Magic Arena cost way too much to make a deck in.
At this point, there are probably a lot of veteran gacha players that have already realized the
Story
point I'm trying to
about
make. Almost every gacha that I know of is a free-to-play, live service game with some level of an aversion to balance patches. All of this combined leads to many gachas either flirting with power creep or, in some extreme cases, going full
That's the most cursed. I think that might be the most cursed thing I've ever made. That might be the most cursed image I've ever made. Hey girl, let me creep up into those DMs. Do I regret this? This is a mistake. This is cursed. It is some cursed shit. By the way, this actually exists. This game actually exists. It's a mobile game where you date animals that have Bishojin heads on them. It's not your fault we got to see.
shape of water and the thing. So now we know what power creep is and why so many gachas fall victim to it. But is power creep really that bad? Yes. Well, no, but still yes. Let me explain. Power creep is not inherently bad. It's a neutral, if not slightly dangerous tool that any developer can use. For example, any content in a new MMO expansion will probably make the old content obsolete. Unlike the Witcher example, this is legitimate power creep, but no one cares. For any long-term MMO player, this is just a normal part of progression. But make no mistake, for gacha games, power creep is often a slow and insidious killer. To start off with, gacha game players are a dedicated group of people.
This famous title. This famous headline. I think that was this the guy that sold his car for Skatok, or was that a different guy? FGO players are fucking insane.
That dedication can come in many different forms, such as time, money, or Reddit posts. But one form of dedication that seems to remain consistent within this community is character loyalty, waifuism, if you will. All gachas are varying levels of CBT, so deciding to roll
True.
varying
Is based scale.
levels of CBT, so deciding to roll for a character can often require this fanatic level of dedication or ridiculous luck. And when this level of dedication for a single character is mixed with power creep, it can lead to disaster. I understand that some people genuinely just do not care about things like the meta, tier list, or other people's opinions.
Fuck, it's another tier list in one of my videos. Oh, what? You good tier? You good? There is no context for this tier list. I have no context. There is no context. I don't understand what this was. Sex pollen? That's Frank Sinatra, yes. The fucking Black Power Ranger in Giga tier. That gets me so much. Oh fuck. This is the best. No, I lied. This is the best meme I've ever made. Shit. Explain smile. There is no explanation. Oh fuck. Oh god. I unironically, humor will be randomly generated. True. I do remember that I decided early on that I was just going to make every tier list that briefly popped up just make no fucking sense and see if anyone ever mentioned it. And I rarely ever got comments, so like no one ever noticed that I had ever made a tier list where Avatar: The Last Airbender, Doritos, Sex Pollen, Shark Plane, and the Black Power Ranger were on the same tier list, and no one ever questioned this. No, no one ever questioned. I don't think I've ever seen a single comment about why Black Power Ranger is in Giga tier. Oh god. Oh fuck. This is good. This is good, man.
On gacha game characters. But for those that do even a little, it can feel devastating to save for a character for 6 months, only to have them power creep out of relevance 2 weeks later.
Charizard players on Suicide Watch. Charizard players in JP are like, oh yeah, I have the best AoE caster. Look, it's so good because the
Secondly, gacha games have a problem with balance. You see, they kind of can't nerf things. I mean, they can, but they would run into the same issue that I just talked about. Spending $400 on a character and then getting them nerfed would just feel terrible.
This probably went under a lot of people's radars. It's from Shadowverse, which is a anime card game. And the English version of Isabelle, which is this character, got nerfed, if you will. So that's the joke.
Gachas also can't just copy the solutions that other devs have already made for other genres. Let's take trading card games as an example. They have a very similar issue with power creep flirtation. However, many of them use things like different formats and set rotations to combat that. For gachas, new game modes or new formats can be complex and really expensive to make. And oh god, please help the first gacha game that tries to rotate characters out of playability. This leaves the only cheap and reliable tool that gachas have to try to level out the balance of power once it's gone out of whack is buffs. And buffs. And buffs. And don't get me wrong, buffs are a really useful and good tool, but when it's your only option, it creates some interesting problems. Look at this line. Let's pretend for a moment that this line is the average power.
I still. Oh, fuck. Yeah. No, this makes sense. I could link this to anyone, and anyone could understand this. And in case you can't see the Mr. Mime in the back. Oh, fuck, is it the first S tier video? His power level's so low, but he's in Giga tier. I don't know what my obsession was with the Black Power Ranger. I don't even know. I think it was just funny. I thought in my mind that me just putting the Black Power Ranger in my videos with no context was hilarious. And you know what? I was right. I was so fucking right. Yeah. The cat ears with the trash cans with cat ears is the low tier. It's definitely the lowest.
Power of every character in a gacha game. While it's definitely not perfect, everyone on the line seems to be at least rather close in power level. Then, along comes the new kid on the block. This kid is shred.
So joke here is that the new kid on the block, I'm literally using New Kids on the Block, the boy band from the 90s, to represent that. Oh man, these are... Oh fuck, this is an S tier video. Oh god.
Everyone else in the game is playing with knives, and this guy has a goddamn AK-47. Something like this has happened in many different games, and it's usually not that big of an issue, just nerf the character to bring them more in line. But as we discussed, gachas can't do that.
Oh no!
So once this power imbalance happens, the only thing that they can do if they want to bring it back in line is to buff. And it's going to take a lot of buffs to fix an oopsie this big.
I saw this
Gacha game.
in half.
Now, while it can happen this way, power creep usually isn't this sudden. Much more often than not, the new kid just has a bigger sword, not a machine gun. I mean, if it's just slightly above average, it's not that big of a problem, right? It's not that simple. Because it's so easy and effective to implement, yet so hard to fix, it can almost seem like gacha games are addicted to power creep. It almost never just happens one time, and when left unchecked for something like a year, that one character that was just slightly above the curve has just kept escalating. When a game is caught in this cycle, its power ceiling can very quickly become an unclimbable power mountain, with each new character in a constant arms race to be more powerful than last month's broken character. All the while, whales' wallets are crying in agony. Old characters are begging for buffs, and new players are lost in the chaos.
I should do this more often. I just love this image. I love this picture. Where it's just like completely fucking unintelligible to anyone except if you watch the video. Why no Castoria on this mountain? This was around the time that I had stopped playing FGO for a decent amount. But yeah, the new kid on the block is basically Castoria. Look at Merlin up there. His smug ass thought that he was up at the top of the mountain and then Castoria comes around. Merlin, I know what you're gonna do, Tom. Yes. Yeah. I made the community post. So oh fuck, hold on. I wonder if it's I'm still subscribed to that guy, by the way. It was here we go. Hello YouTube, I want to play a game. I will subscribe to the first channel that mentions the guess the topic of the screen. And it was power creeping. So this guy that said power creeping, Zero to Nero, he has 1 subscriber. Okay. I'm on my oh fuck, I can't show you. Hold on. I would need to. I'm not logged into the Dio's opinions thing at the moment. Give me a second. How do I show what videos? How do I show who I'm subscribed to? Oh, here, I have a better idea. I'll just copy this and put it into Firefox. That subscriber is me. He did it, and I'm still subscribed to Zero to Nero. All right, if you're watching this, Zero to Nero, start making content. I'm watching. I'm still waiting. I can't wait to see Summer Merlin. Oh god.
That's quite a lot of doom and gloom over one PNG having bigger numbers than another PNG. So let's all calm down and ask ourselves if there's anything reasonable that we can do. From a developer's perspective, there's quite a lot that can be done. As I've already mentioned, this is a really old issue and many people have found many different ways to at least slow it down. It seems like gachas such as Arknights and Girls Frontline have managed well enough so far. Not through anything fancy either, just consistently good character design mixed with the ability to resist their own urges.
You're gonna be a second subscribe? Does everyone subscribe to Zero to Nero? This guy's just super fucking confused.
However, from a player's perspective, there's not really much we can do. Gachas generally don't have things such as public test servers that could warn players of obviously overtuned characters before their release. And while I hope I've shown why I would disagree, there are probably a sizable number of people that just don't think power creep is an issue in what is mostly PvE games. So it's often the case that by the time a player base has noticed that something has gone very wrong, it's already too late.
Bro.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do. Yeah. This is a good ass video. There are so many hidden jokes inside this video. I think that, like, oh god, I think that that's going to be like the main thing, is whether or not the jokes are hidden. I think that this kind of video is probably my best kind of video, where I'm talking about stuff seriously, because I remember struggling with this. So all of these videos up until this point were really humorous. And the Power Creep video was the first video that I wanted to sit down and like actually do a serious topic. But I still wanted to have jokes, and I feel like I actually, in the recent times, I've moved away from that a little bit, where I don't even try to put jokes in there. I'm just more of a commentary channel. But I think hiding the jokes, so if people that really try to get them, or like every now and again, somebody will pause the video and go, "Excuse me, what the fuck did I just see?" That's the kind of comedy that I think I should strive to make. I feel like this. Yeah, I feel like this is very good. It's a very good video. Balance in Arknights.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, hey!
So, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about balance in Arknights. Game balance can be a spicy topic, especially in gachas.
Oh no. Oh wait, no, this is just a normal tier list. Okay. Ah, damn, this is just a normal tier list.
also kind of based. I don't think Genshin should be that high up, or maybe it should. I think these are most of the gacha games I've ever played. I probably still agree with most of this tier list, actually. Genshin shouldn't be above Honkai. I think the gameplay of Genshin is better than the gameplay of Honkai. Surprised you played that many? I've played more since then. Well, see, if you know anything from my Punishing Grey Raven video, I don't like hack and slashes and stuff. This isn't like an objective tier list. This would be like a tier list of just like how much I like them. And but yeah, my main problem was that like Honkai just I really don't like hack and slash. Where the exploration of the open world in Genshin tickles my fancy, as it were. It's pretty alright. I've always said, and I'll say it again, I think Genshin is a fine game, but MiHoYo is a fuck bastard company. And a lot of the stuff with like almost all the problems with Genshin have nothing to do with like the gameplay or the characters even. That is just MiHoYo. MiHoYo being one of the worst companies that I could think of in terms of gacha companies.
Hot or spicy meat.
Is Sidroka still running? I don't actually know. I haven't played it in a long time.
Yeah, boy.
People play games for different reasons. Gacha seem to be usually split between the gameplay lords and the PNG kings. And to all my PNG kings out there, you're completely valid. I hope you get whoever you want on the next banner, and have a nice day. That being said, this video is geared towards people that care about gameplay.
Bro. I'm still like this. Also, Sir Grapho, still amazing, still doing what he does.
Oh, and some of the things I'll be talking about might make more sense if you've seen last week's video on power creep. There should be a link to it somewhere on screen if I've managed to figure out the YouTube magic. Now,
I did it, by the way. I figured it out.
Chat about the current state of balance in Arknights. It's good. Jokes aside, Arknight's balance is in a good spot right now. The fact that Silver Ash was released with the game as the best character and managed to hold that title for over a year is impressive, and the person that finally did take his throne isn't that much stronger than him. Now, not everything is perfect. Some characters do feel like they've been left behind recently. This is less due to power creep and more due to current content just not favoring their niche. However, even when accounting for those that are left behind, a good 90% of the roster is still viable and fun to use. Oh, and don't worry, I'll get to that other 10% later in the video.
Yeah, I still agree with this. I think that I agree with everything I said here. The balance market is fine. It's very impressive that they've managed to hold themselves back with power creep. I think that Surtur and Thorns were the first two characters to push the power creep levels, but didn't break it, because each of them, comparatively to Silver Ash, have their own niches. So far, yeah. So far, Arknight's power creep has been okay.
Yeah. So why is Arknight's balance so good? Arknight's developers have to be given credit in this regard. If they were incompetent, greedy, or both, they could have absolutely ruined this part of the game by now. But they didn't, and as a man that really likes Arknights due to its gameplay, that means a lot to me. Besides that, I really think that Arknight's complexity as a game really helps its balance. Complex games have a much easier time allowing for niche and specialized characters to thrive. And while I'm not saying that Arknights is EVE Online, it does have a decent amount of mechanics that give a lot of wiggle room for what a powerful character can be. So, that's it. Arknights is just a really balanced game.
Maybe. I don't know. Not really.
I fucking love American Psycho. Good ass movie, by the way. The math nerds versus the literature nerds. Yeah, no, I dogged on Squidward there. For Squidward. Well, I mean, so I needed some character for the incompetent and greedy combination for the joke, and Squidward was just the only thing that even remotely made sense. I was like, I was thinking like maybe Plankton, but Plankton didn't fit for like I needed like his body, right? Because it was like the meme was like I was gonna do the hypergriff and then just like where the face of the SpongeBob character was, I was going to do the thing, but yeah, Plankton's body didn't fit.
So, I'm slightly worried about the future. While there aren't many balance issues right now, there could be in the future due to one specific policy that...
Huh. There could be balance issues in the future. That's weird. I hope nothing like that ever happens.
Yostar seems to have. For whatever reason, Arknights will not buff characters. As I talked about last week, buffs are one of the only easy and cheap balance tools left for gachas. So the seeming refusal to use them at all leaves Arknights on
Remember, this was the very first time. It's bad, but you can see me trying to track the dude's head.
this dangerous tightrope that I don't know how long they can keep up. I'm afraid that if they're too stubborn in this regard, they could end up ruining or at least heavily damaging the balance of their game. All that would take would be a single character that is way too strong, and then a lot of what I find fun about the game, that being its challenge and skill expression, could be destroyed.
私がモンスターと共に担う理由、特にドクター、君のことは。
Yeah. So, that didn't age well. No, Calcet was not as broken as what we thought, but she is pretty fucking broken. I was making my Balance and Arknights video when Calcet got released. Calcet's not as broken as most of us thought, but she is pretty fucking broken. She's pretty good. She does do a unique thing that most of the other characters in the game can't do. Medic, yes. This doesn't know how to play Calcet. No, listen, I don't use Calcet correctly in my streams, but I do know that Calcet is very good. But I remember everyone thought that she was going to be very, very, very strong when she was initially shown during the anniversary stream, because there was just a lot of hype around finally getting Calcet, but also because they showed videos of her like basically soloing Patriot, and up until that point, that was like a pretty fucking big deal, especially for like the EN community. Who was just going through, I think, the Patriot chapter at the time.
Setting that aside for now, their hardline stance on buffs just kinda makes me sad. There are a ton of characters that I think are either really close to being viable, or at least really cool, but the way things are, they're just doomed. I've already dogged on Flamebringer, so let's use Hung as an example this time. In 90% of situations, he's just a worse neural. Hell, some say he's worse than Gumi. I don't know if that's true, but I do think...
Right. Do we think that Hung is worse than Gumi? What's the opinion on that? I'll do a poll. I'm actually curious. I'm actually still curious about this. I'm worse than Gumi. Hung is pretty bad. But is he worse than... Yeah, no, defensive charge units are really bad. That's the main problem. It varies on the attack speed map. Yeah. Because Hung is no good, but no.
I think that if you have both Neural and Hung, the only reason you would use Hung is if you like his character. Gameplay-wise, the only thing he has going...
I noticed. This is the first video I did it in, isn't it? I actually use outlines for my text. Based. People can read the text jokes.
Gameplay-wise, the only thing he has going for him is that his skills charge from getting hit. The way the game is currently set up, that's just usually worse than the standard per second charge. But if that's the thing that makes him special, then why not lean into it? Buff Hung's defensive SP rate. That would make him noticeably better than Neural on maps with a lot of small units that attack really fast. Now, to clarify, even with this buff, Neural would probably still be better than Hung on most maps, but in the future this change would allow for an event where Hung could really shine. This kind of niche but strong character design makes up a lot of my favorite characters in Arknights. Ifrit can either be the best or worst caster.
This is bad cropping. Oh no. Oh no, this is really bad cropping. Why not just use GIMP?
Due to her really funky range. April's unique archetype as a fast redeploy sniper can make her either really clutch or really bad, and don't even get me started on this furry again. Some of my best memories with this game are when I'm trying to beat a map and then I find that someone who I don't use that often is actually really strong in this specific situation.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
And I just fear that without buffs as an option, not only do they have to worry about releasing a broken character, but characters that release just a little bit too weak don't have any real hope. Is any of this a real problem, or am I overreacting? I don't know.
Or
I mean, if they did a full 180 and were really trigger happy with the buffs, this could end up doing a lot more harm than it would good. And as I've said multiple times, the devs of this game have done an amazing job in so many different ways. So I guess for now, I can try to ignore these worries, and have faith that your star and Hypergriff know what they're doing.
Random note here. So I don't know if anyone caught it. I don't know. I'm going to spoil some. Chris is actually pretty strong on 0-1. I just missed this joke. Anyway. Interesting note about like an editing trick that I do. And once I point it out to you, you'll probably notice it a lot more. So I like match cuts. What I mean by match cuts is that I like editing to music. So
know what they're doing.
So I cut
and have faith
I end the
that your
video
star and
right as
Hypergriff
the
know what they're doing.
Okay, I cut the video right as the which one like the quote unquote bass starts to drop. Okay, but in order to do that, what I needed to figure out how to do was get that part of the song to line up. Could try to like crossfade it, but it's really finicky, and I'm really bad at audio mixing. So instead, what I found is that if you just cut the audio at some point by an interruption in the audio, then you can replay the song. You can play the song after the clip at any point. What I mean is that, so here's the music here.
That often is actually really strong in this specific situation.
Completely different song, and then I lower it a little bit.
A surprise.
I put in this meme, which is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
To be sure, but a welcome one.
And I just fear that without
a new song starts playing. And I can play this song at any point in time in the song, because all I have to do is fade the audio in even if it's like halfway through the song, so that by the time that it gets to here,
that your star and Hypergriff know what they're doing.
I can cut on whenever I want to. Random editing trick. I don't know if literally anyone notices that at all. I don't think anyone does. These are like the random small things that I talk about. Oh god, you guys are arguing. This is some serious Gumi versus Hung debate in the chat, huh? And then Shelter happened. Yeah. There's a video quote unquote. There's something in the making that's coming out soon that has my opinions on what happened with the balance in Arknights. I think that it has gotten worse, and that I think that this video does show a lot of what was happening beforehand. This video is rough just because I did, quote unquote, predict a lot of the problems that Arknights is currently facing, or a lot of the problems that I think are problems that Arknights is currently facing. Where I go, hey, I'm kind of worried because I've noticed that Arknights doesn't like to buff things, or directly buff things, and that the meta will get really stale, and that if they aren't buff happy, that if they release one broken character, the game will kind of warp around that character existing. And then they release Calcit, followed by Scotty Alter, followed by Chen Alter, followed by Ling. So wasn't as funny as some of the other videos, but I think this, and you can notice this is like the shift from pure meme videos to like more commentary stuff. But where this one had like a lot of jokes, you can immediately tell this one has like some comments. So like I think they're like either B or A tier. I still stick by literally everything that I say, that I said in this video, but well, we'll leave it B tier for now. I think it was pretty mid. Oh god. I don't hate Chen, but yeah. No, a lot of people don't like Chen for a lot of different reasons. Mainly in regards to like the gameplay reasons, Chen is pretty rough. Was that video a pre-made passenger buff? Well, so notably, and I will back up here because I even made an addendum
Hello.
down here in the pinned comment. I am fake news. So they do buffs. They do buff units in Arknights. They've buffed like Nightmare. They even when I made this video, which was a long time ago, they buffed Nightmare. They buffed Flamebringer. They buffed Tsukinogi. They do buffs every now and again, but I feel like I would much prefer it if they actually like consistently buffed up operators, right? Like not just like every now and again they give like 100 HP to Flamebringer, like actually buff units, actually like mess around with the balancing of units instead of just releasing new buffs. Yeah, like most of the buffs in Arknights are like very small tweaks. And then modules existed, and as I've said this before, I don't like modules very much. I think that modules are this weird half measure between actual buffs and an Elite 2.5. Yeah, I think it's a B video. Modules are a disappointment. In my opinion, yes. Okay. No, but I think they're very conservative with buffs. So not only do we not get buffs in Arknights a lot, we get buffs very rarely, but the buffs rarely matter because they're very small a lot of the time. Like the buffs are like very, very tiny. They're not enough to change the actual impact on the game, and that's really disappointing. Should you try Fate Grand Order? My longest video to that point, and it wasn't close, I think. 6 minutes, 9 minutes. 9 minutes was the closest, so I had a couple 9-minute videos. 14 minutes. Is this still my longest video? Or visual novels longer? No, visual novels was a little bit longer. It's a long one. That's how you're walking into? I'm aware. Fate Grand Order. Oh boy. And notably, of note, so I should mention this again. I had quit Fate Grand Order until I made this video again, and I was like, man, I should really go back to Fate Grand Order. Me making this video fucked me over. Because I quit January of 2021. And then I had quit all the way until whenever this was released. So May. I quit from January till May. There's the podcast that went over the that's what I was referencing when I was talking about video. It's not like a video, but yeah, we there's a episode of Gotcha Hell that we recorded that was about balance in Arknights, where we debate about modules and balance in Arknights, obviously. I'm amazed that I didn't get copyright striked for this, by the way.
Hey there, it's me, Dio. Today's
I don't know why this didn't outline the text. Oh no, I do know why it didn't outline the text. So
Hey there.
Yeah, this I remember I didn't want to download. So the only way to get around this, because the only ones that exist on YouTube, the only clips of this scene that exist on YouTube are the subbed versions. And so I would have had to download the whole entire raw episode in order to get this clip if I wanted this without subtitles, which was way too annoying at the time because I didn't know where to get raws. I will later find out where to get raws of whole entire anime videos. And we'll talk about that. But 1.25 times speed saber is cursed. It's a little cursed.
It's me, Dio. Today's topic was inevitable. I was destined to make this video. It's
More
about
puns. More puns. More puns. If you've noticed, I do have a very consistent style of humor that I enjoy. That is just nonsense. That is just absolute nonsense. This is Jeb. This is Jeb. That's a strong start. Okay.
Fate has an ongoing joke. People outside the fandom really want to get into Fate, they just don't know how. While Fate may have had humble beginnings as a battle royale pornographic picture book, over the years it's exploded in popularity. Today, Fate has multiple novels, manga, spin-offs, games, and a dozen anime.
There's so much Fate.
I just want so much. I just want more Fate.
all with loosely connected canon.
Oh, so I took note. Yeah, the last video, Balance and Arknights, was the very first video that I put a Danny DeVito in my videos, and you will note every single video after Balance and Arknights has at least one Danny DeVito hidden somewhere in the video. I'll try to point them out as I go.
And while there's a lot of really good stuff in there, for outsiders, it just looks like a
This is very true. It's still very true. This is giga true.
tangled mess. Fate has become so broad that a lot of its fans enjoy it for very different reasons. Older fans might have come to the series because of its clash of ideals between its larger-than-life characters.
Interestingly enough, only so if you notice, so actually, because I didn't know it was in the same video. So I get this, and I was whatchamacallit, it had the sub problem that I was talking about before, so I had to do the blackout behind it. These subs are made by me, because I got the raws of this because I found out where to get the raws for episodes of anime. So wow, that's an adaptation in one video. I had a problem, and then I fixed that problem, which is a lot of editing.
While newer fans might appreciate the fact that there's finally
God.
something on their prison TV that appeals to them.
Yep. Oh, yep. Jail really was just a room, huh?
Because of the series' loss in focus, it's become basically impossible to explain the overall appeal of Fate. So with that being said,
We don't talk about the moon.
How about I do anyway?
not the whole series, I'm cocky but not insane. So let's start off small, with something that I think my audience will be much more familiar with. So sit back and grab yourself a drink as I explain to you why I think that you should give Fate Grand Order a try.
That was nice. Hold on, wait, whoa. That match cutting was really nice.
So sit back and grab yourself a drink as I explain to you why
So he fist bumps with the dun.
I think that you should give Fate Grand Order a try.
Dun dun, and then it appears. I put way too much effort into doing that stuff.
I'm going to be honest with you up front. This review is not unbiased. I don't think it can be. But I'll try to be on my best behavior and explain both the best and the worst the game has to offer.
Poor Mio. She was released in such a fucked state. Anyway.
Let's start off by putting FGO's best foot forward, and that is without a doubt in my mind, the story and characters. Like many other gachas, the story is separated into chapters that come out every few months. There is an overarching narrative, but the chapters tend to be rather self-contained, usually consisting of you and your eggplant traveling around and beating up whatever bad guy was being particularly annoying that week. And while that might sound simple, I truly do think that the main story is really good. It starts off slow, worse than slow. The first couple chapters are kinda just bad. From pacing to cohesion to main characters, it's just not that great. It almost seems like the writers felt a little unsure about where to go with the story, or were just too scared to do anything too controversial. But if you stick
Eggplant? Oh. If you're not in the FGO community, a lot of people call MASH eggplant. MASH is this girl right here, like the main face of FGO. They call her the eggplant kohai. I don't know why, but yes, they call her the eggplant kohai because her hair kind of looks like an eggplant. I don't know.
with it, it rather
Does the story really become better than Arknights? I think it does. I think that very unironically, the Fate Grand Order story in some of the chapters is not just like, oh wow, it's kind of like good for a gacha game. Kind of no, like Camelot and Babylon and some of the like Shinjuku are like actually good stories. Like Babylon is like just a good fucking story. Camelot is just a good fucking story. These could be like short novels or like visual novels. They actually made animes out of both of these and they're pretty good. Yeah, I think that like the FGO, and I'm heavily biased. As I say in the video, I can't make an unbiased opinion on Fate because Fate is just so up my alley. Fate is just, yeah, we don't talk about the Lost Spells. I'm talking about the Epic of Remnant and the original storyline are pretty good. Are pretty damn good. And I'm just like sticking to it, you know? I think Arknights is missing in comparison. Well, I explained it in the video. So one thing that Arknights is missing in comparison is the ability to move forward. So here, I'll just play the video.
Rapidly becomes a fantastic story. Not just a good story for gacha games, a good story, period. A big reason why I think FGO's story is so good is because it's allowed to kill characters. Due to some contrivances in the lore that I will not get into here, the characters can die and still be collectible within the game's canon. This has massive consequences on the limits of the narrative. Conflicts can be resolved, character arcs can be completed, villains can be defeated, stories can actually end. If all of that sounds really basic, then you have no idea just how ahead of the curve that is for not only gachas, but most live service games.
Yeah, so that was basically what I was going to tell you. The thing about FGO, one of the main things about FGO is that because of the Grail and the way that it works, most of the characters are already dead anyway, so they're allowed to kill people. And you have no idea how much that matters in a live service game. League of Legends can't even fucking get this right. And League of Legends has like $1 billion more than something like Arknights, right? I think that because of the way that their lore is set up, they can do things like kill AFPLA. And I mean, like, Beagle technically might be dead. It's kind of hinted at. Maybe that's confirmed. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was like ever confirmed if Beagle actually died. Because I'm not a CN reader and I haven't read chapter 9 yet. I don't know if that happens. Anyway, Riot Games is a small indie company. Yeah. The problem is that like AFPLA will never die. Probably just won't. Because they're too afraid to make that into a thing. But in FGO, people like Canis can die, and that's just part of the lore because that's just fate. And so they run into this issue. Arknights runs into this issue a lot, where people have main character syndrome, where there's no stakes. You can get things. Spoilers here for FGO. I won't say it, but so there's a character, even like the most recent Lost Belt, that just fucking dies, halfway through, and I'm like, okay, that just happens, I guess. And they're just allowed to do that, and you can feel really sad, and it can be impactful, and these characters can have their story arcs progress and end, and that's so rare. And I'm not saying Arknights doesn't do that, because Chen's stories end. Chen has like a thoughtful arc where she goes through the stuff with Tallulah, and I think that her arc is really good. But Arknights a lot of the time holds back from that. Like you have Frost Nova, you have Chen, you have Tallulah. Arknights is pretty good with this, but there are a lot of other characters that are just left hanging because they can't. Any character that needs to die in the story is just infinitely put on hold, where FGO it's allowed to kill characters. This also creates a new problem where the characters in the story are significantly different to the ones in Chaldea. Yes. It is pretty interesting, yeah. So the I don't even think that's a problem. I think it's just an interesting side effect of the situation. What's the Kodak meme? Artemis and Orion? Yeah. No, so basically, to sum it up, Fate Grand Orders does not pull its punches. Or it rarely pulls its punches. There are some times where, like, there's, like, the obvious one with, like, MASH. But FGO rarely pulls its punches. And I think that is really refreshing in a live service game.
See, usually in a game with no conclusive end in sight, it's difficult to complete a playable character's story. If they die or achieve their main goal,
I think I can agree with that statement. The reason why people think miss Frost Nova so much is because character deaths make things impactful. No, I agree. And not only do they make things impactful, but once you do it, you realize that it raises the stakes for the rest of the show. So when Gandalf dies or when Frost Nova dies, the very first death in a story will set the stakes, because then you realize that they can just kill characters that matter to you. The thing with Frost Nova is that she was an enemy. She was not a playable character. She was not one of the main characters. But with, like, I don't want to spoil, like, random shit. But with, like, so Gandalf is a good example. When Gandalf dies in Lord of the Rings, it's pretty early on. And
It sets the tone that, oh, they are willing to kill some of the main characters. And so whenever the characters are going through the rest of the journey, you have that in the back of your mind. With like, and when like, so when stuff is happening to like Boromir, you're like, oh shit, are they gonna do it? And they do end up doing it. And that, without that, everything feels like you're playing with kid gloves on. I mean, like Frost Nova, as you said, Frost Nova is a moment that most people that have read the Arknight story remember. But notably, do you ever read Arknight's story where you're like gripped onto the edge of your seat during a fight scene where you're like, oh shit, are one of the characters that I actually like going to die? No, because they all have gigaplot armor. Because they refuse to take that step into actually killing one of the playable characters, except for again maybe Beagle, kind of. That's unknown. We'll get to it.
Then what lore reason do they have to stick around? So a lot of games can get stuck in these weird situations, such as Aya being constantly on the verge of death but never dying, or it taking Lucian 6 years to move forward with his really basic.
League of Legends is so bad with this. I'm a big League of Legends lore fan. Side note here. And it is infuriating because League of Legends has the same exact problem where League refuses to kill or even like harm or really progress or change most of their characters. They've been getting better with it within the last 2 years, but man, 6 years for Lucian to do literally anything feels fucking bad because they wrote themselves into a corner. You like Arcane then? Yes, Arcane was really good.
Big story. FGO's timey-wimey grail magic sidesteps most of those problems, because as it turns out, people don't actually die when they're killed, because they were already dead to begin.
Well, and so there's a lot of people messaging with really long messages. One of the main things I'm talking about, so I see people like, if you saw the graph, hold on, where's the graph? This graph. I think Arknight's story is really good for gacha, quote unquote gacha stories, or like more live server stories. I think Arknights is the second best gacha game story. Arknights is a very good story. It does a lot of the things that are good. I just think that it's not like goated S tier. It's not like the triple S tier that I think FGO's is sometimes, because Arknights is it just refuses to take that extra step. I never fear for any of the characters, and like none of the situations that are supposed to be like threatening are threatening to me because I know the outcome. I know what's going to happen. The good guys are going to win. And of course, like
live service,
the bad guys almost never win in FGO. But the characters that I really care about and I really love can be put into danger that aren't literally you and MASH.
games. See, usually in a game with no conclusive and interesting. As I've already mentioned, the quality of these stories can be shaky at times, but when looked at overall, the highs more than make up for the lows.
Remember when Gangplank died? True. Yeah, that happened, yeah.
Similar to the story, FGO's
meaningless character deaths are even worse than holding back and killing anyone. Yes, I'm not saying that. That's why I was trying to like tread a line where I'm not saying that like randomly killing people is good, because that's not the case. But I do feel like very specifically, Arknights has gotten into several situations where character death would have added to what they were trying to do. And while they are willing to kill characters in the story, like the one girl in the early chapters with the dual grenades, I forget her name, or Frost Nova, or some other characters that I'm not mentioning, they never take the step to actually kill one of the main characters, or not even like one of the main characters, any playable character. Skull Shatterer, yes. Yeah.
Characters can be a bit all over the place, probably just due to its aim.
And again, this might just be because they want the game to be pseudo canon, so they don't want to kill operators because that means that you wouldn't be able to use operators, right? So like it was like, oh, well, do we use the do we allow you to use the operator if we've killed them? Where FGO sidesteps this issue because the answer is yes, because all the fucking Holy Grail, Chaldea, haha hee hee magic.
In the nearly 6 years since its release, it's come up with characters that are fantastic, forgettable, and some that I wish would commit not alive. But if I had to give an overall judgment, the quality of the character designs and writing is pretty good. FGO does kinda cheat though in this regard. Again, thanks to their timey-wimey magic, alternate versions of the same character can be canon. And I'm not just talking about summer versions here. Some alts can give key insights into a character.
Be nice to Jason? No.
Gilgamesh, for example, has 3 different collectible versions, but all from different points in his life.
He is not misunderstood.
You can literally watch his progression from lovable, if not slightly terrifying kid, to egotistical maniac, to a much more mellowed out version of the character who is a responsible leader for his people. It's also hardest in this section to not bring up the larger Fate canon. I'll admit that a big reason why I'm attached to so many characters is due to a lot of what I know about them from alternate media or even history. Returning to our friend Gilgamesh, you can see that his character remains consistent through a lot of different media.
Mongrel. May your death provide me with some monochrome of entertainment. Oh, yeah. No, that's a Gilgamesh line.
This allows for a much bigger deep dive into the character, his goals, history, personality, victories, and defeats. If you account for fate at large, many of the servants aren't just PNGs to be collected, they're fully realized characters. But this is again a very dangerous double-edged sword for the reason I was talking about in the intro. Fate lore is a rabbit hole, one that is seemingly never-ending. You can often think that you're doing a simple search and then wind up on a wiki page about the Moon Grail.
Not explaining it. There's the wiki page. You could read the wiki page.
In addition, because Fate uses real history and mythology as a basis for a lot of its characters, the truly insane among you can spend hours or days learning a whole bunch of trivia, such as the Norse Valkyrie Brynhilde only recognizing Sigurd and not Siegfried because Sigurd is the Nordic version of the myth. All this additional information is wonderful for someone like me, but it's also understandable that for a new player this can be extremely intimidating. And to that, I can confidently say that the main story does not require any prior knowledge. You just might end up a little bit confused during the event when they start talking about Jeanne d'Arc, who is an evil lolly and thinks that she's Santa.
I'm also not explaining that one.
You having fun so far? Well, cut that shit out. The fun stops here. While I don't think the other sections of FGO make it a bad game, it certainly becomes a much less good one. The gameplay of FGO is best explained as a card game where each character has its own deck. You'll build a team of...
As a side note, the reason I chose Astolfo in this picture was because I thought it'd be funny if I said each character has their own deck, because it sounds like another word, and then put Astolfo on the screen.
Each character has its own deck. You'll build a team of these characters mixing all of their decks, and then each turn you pull a total of 5 cards. Characters also have unique skills and passives that do a wide variety of things. Perhaps most importantly, each character also has a class that is effective and weak to other classes. All of this put together is really quite fun and novel at first. The system itself is quite unique, and the balance between skills, decks, classes, and CEs is quite a fun one. You can easily get into situations where you're having to make on-the-fly strategies, trying to do the best with the hand that the game has dealt you. But as you progress and begin to reach the late game, most of that fun is optimized out. A good 80% of the endgame is reduced to a clicker game with some pretty animations.
True. I think this is... We get some bass in chat. This is maybe the most bass take I've ever had. And it's one of the main things that I think FGO... Yeah, sadly true, yeah. The FGO's endgame is really rough. It's way more rough than Arknights. It's way more rough than a lot of the other games that I like, that are gacha games. The problem is that the endgame of FGO, because of the way that they set up everything, is really fucked, and I don't know if they could ever unfuck it.
To explain how we get there, I need to explain Noble Phantasms. NPs are a super move that you usually build up by using a character's cards. Just like skills, these are unique to each servant and have special animations. The issue
is saying true to his own opinions. Hey, it's true
is that in the late game, building that meter becomes a joke, devolving a lot of the mechanics that I explained earlier into spamming your NP to destroy whole waves of enemies in a single turn. For a lot of content, this destroys not only the challenge, but most of the on-the-fly strategy. Objection! I can hear you saying, not every game needs to be the Dark Souls of gachas, and that's fair enough. I don't think FGO's easy difficulty was done on accident. The game literally has an I win button that's available every 3 real-life days. And that makes sense for a game whose main draw is the story and characters. So,
This is what people do. This is what I think people do when they like their own videos. True, this guy's based.
Everything's fine. Or it would be if FGO were not an archaic old man. FGO's gameplay goes from slightly lackluster to pure hell due to some slightly weird decisions. There are a lot of features that other gachas would consider very basic that FGO is just missing 6 years into its release. Fun fact for everyone who's never played this game. There is no auto battle in Fate Grand Order.
I actually got some decent pushback, and I still get decent pushback to this day. Uh, where people think that FGO should not have auto battle. I guess we should talk about it because I feel very strongly about this opinion. So, what I mean by auto battle is that a Arknights-esque auto battle system will completely work in FGO. So, if the statement is, if you think the statement FGO should have an auto battle, if you think what I mean by that is that it should just allow you to like your servants to like whack randomly, I do not think that. I think that I think they should implement a system that is like Fate Grand Automata, where if you can really only use the auto battle if you can 3-turn a map, because I don't think that if you can 3-turn a map, there's any point in making me sit there and manually grind your mission for literally hours. And I don't think that there's any. I really don't think there's any real defense against this. Like, a lot of people like to talk about FGO. It's like, well, I don't want to turn into a clicker game, or I don't want to turn into an auto battle game. It's like, you wouldn't. You would still have to figure out how to 3-turn all the maps. And if you can 3-turn all the maps with the same exact team, that's a power creep problem, not an FGO problem. Or you can even implement map stripping. Yes. So I even think, I unironically, based in true, if you wanted to get really radical with it, and I think that for me personally, who has little time in their life to do things that they want to do, I think that what do you mean auto battle Castoria? Yeah, anyway, I think that auto battle or skip tickets would actually be really based. I think that using skip tickets to do things that you have 3-starred or that you can 3-turn is super based. Either give me skip tickets or auto battle, because I think that games like this are archaic, that don't have any kind of auto battle system, that make me manually grind out 200 Lotto bucks.
Second fun fact for the day. While you can speed them up, you cannot skip those Noble Phantasm animations. After those 2 fun little nuggets of information, it might be time to remind you that FGO is indeed a gacha game, whose core gameplay loop includes repeating the same stages over and over again for materials to level up your characters. As I grinded my 200th Lotto box, I slowly began to realize that the endgame of Fate Grand Order is a purgatory. You manually have to repeat the same stages over and over again, except most of the nuance of the gameplay has been erased. Once you've built the team that can 3-turn clear, then all you're doing is pressing the same exact buffs in the same exact order to watch the same exact set of cutscenes hundreds of times. And before you all roast me alive in the comments, no, the gameplay isn't all that bad. Team building manages to stay interesting, and challenge quests, story bosses, and certain events can bring back that on-the-fly strategy that I missed. I
Stand Neurofest and GoFest in this chat.
think it's just a shame that that's such a small percent of the
You can use, you can skip MP if you use cheap AP. I did not know that. But yeah, no, I do think that the biggest thing holding the FGO back is not even necessarily its gameplay, it's its quality of life features. Honest to God, it's straight up the quality of life features. Because the story is fine. Lost Belts are kind of a shitfire, but they have decent parts to them. An Epic of Remnant and the original story was really, really good. So, like, the art is fine. I just, FGO is so weird because I don't think it's a bad game. I just think it's a very weird game that's being held back by really simple quality of life features that they could implement within literally a week of coding.
The endgame. This section is going to be real quick because I don't have mixed or complex feelings on this part of the game. Let's start off constructively. I think a very common mistake that people make when looking at how forgiving a gacha is focusing too much on gacha rates. There are a lot of secondary systems such as pity rates or in-game currencies that can make or break a gacha, and with all of that in mind, I can confidently say that FGO's gacha is shit. Just absolute garbage. Starting off, it has one of the lowest base rates in the industry, starting off at a solid 1%. In addition, the game also has a crippling lack of those secondary systems. Let me give an example of just how bad the secondary systems that are in the game can be by explaining USOs. Many gachas have a very similar spark system where you can build up currency from getting duplicates of high rarity characters. And in FGO's case, unregistered spirit origins can get you any single character in the game, even limited ones. Sounds pretty good.
Oh, no. You misunderstood.
Getting a duplicate of a character in FGO increases the power of that character's noble
Here's another funny story. I wanted to get footage of me rolling for this video, and I got Jolter while doing that. Every single time that I try to roll before for a video, I end up getting an SSR. My luck for YouTube is fucking insane. Like I recently got Dioscuri on stream. I got Ganyu as a meme in Genshin. I don't understand. And when I got Blubbershine. It transfers through every single one of my videos. And this is an NP4, by the way. The Jolter just had like a random banner up. And I was like, yeah, I need to like roll a couple of tickets so I can get like the animation of the summoning. And I got MP4 Jolter. Just record all your rolls. True.
Phantasm up to 5 times. If you get a 6 copy or so on of the same exact 5-star, then you get 1 USO. It takes 10 USOs to get a single character.
This is still true, by the way. I've played since launch and I still don't have a single one. I got the closest while recording for this video so I could get my 4th copy of Jolter, but I still don't have a single USO. It's pretty rough. USO system in FGO is garbage. Oh good.
No pity system, shit rates, tons of limited characters, do not pass go, do not collect $100. Okay, let's take a step back from those negative sections and end the video with a feel-good one. The music in this game is fantastic. To be fair, the music in all of Fate is fantastic, but sticking specifically to the game, there are a lot of bangers from a lot of different genres. From Eastern-inspired bops
Strike Raid Boss theme is still one of the best fucking songs in the game. Also, I'm so sorry, Razor, that you went back to Genshin. I'm so sorry for your loss. It's a shame. Why is he fighting Michael Jackson? Wait, what? Oh, the enemies on the screen. These are Yakuza members.
A lot of bangers from a lot of different genres. From Eastern-inspired bops to a ton of electrical slaps. The music in FGO is a fine addition to anyone's collection, and I don't have much bad to say about it. You can even go back and listen to many of the tracks whenever you want to. They have this feature, but they don't have auto battle. Huh. Look, if it's not obvious by now, I love Fate. I love its world that's filled with larger-than-life characters and fascinating magic. I love its use of real myths, legends, and history, from Apocrypha to CCC, from gender-bent King Arthur to android Attila the Hun from Mars with an orbital laser. This series is wonderful. I have a very personal connection with this franchise, so a question as simple as, should you play this PNG collector, has turned into what is definitely my longest video. And at the end of it all, should you try Fate Grand Order? Yes. It has a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but I think it's still worth giving a shot. Some of you will understandably bounce off of it, but I'm willing to bet that there are at least a few of you that have the same exact taste as I do. And for those people, you're in for a wild ride.
と、あなたが私のマスターか。
Oh, I think I regret putting it as a yes. FGO, if I'm way more honest, FGO is like a definite maybe. Like, should you try FGO? Maybe. It depends on whether or not you like Fate's story gimmick. Because if you're not there for the story and characters, you're in for a rough ride. But I think at the time, the idea was that you should try it just because I feel like Fate is one of those series that when you are a fan of Fate, you're usually a fan of Fate, if you know what I mean. Fate has this way of drawing you in and devouring your life because there's just so much content of it, and there's so much random content of it that the idea was, it's like, hey, if you try FGO and you don't like it, well, that's fine because it doesn't cost you anything, hopefully. But if you do end up liking FGO and you do become a Fate fan, then, as I say, you are in for a wild ride because there is a lot that Fate has to offer that is very good. That was the idea behind me saying yes to you should try Fate Grand Order, even though it's more definitely like a 50-50 maybe. All in all, I think this is where my editing got very good. Or not very good, but this is where you can like very clearly tell there was a step up in editing. I don't know where I would put it on the tier list though. And so this is where like we come to like a crossroads where these videos get really, really hard to rate because this one had almost no jokes in it. But I think just in terms of like a YouTube video, what the hell did I just do? What? I think that in terms of like a YouTube video, I think that it's pretty good. I don't think it's S tier. I'm gonna leave it A for now. I don't know what the hell that was. Oh boy, I already know I'm gonna be super biased for this. My lowest viewed video of all time. This might be a lot of yours first time watching this video, if the metrics are anything to go by. Lowest than even the new one that I made. His opinions on spring 2021. This video. Ooh.
Oh, hey there. Since I have time frozen like this, let me let you in on a little secret. I like things other than gacha games. In all seriousness, consuming media is probably my favorite hobby.
Wait, okay, I saw another one. That was a sneaky one.
Consuming media...
You can see very lightly here. There's Arknights going in.
Is probably
there's FGO going in.
My favorite hobby.
And there's Danny DeVito spinning in. There's DeVito #1. Yeah, there's the DeVito head.
That includes everything from games and novels to films and animation.
That was pretty good editing. I like the back and forth, the games, novels, films, animation. I just
stories are just
PNG. I think I told that story. I think I told the story. Yeah. It was Tamamo. It was rough. Back in FGO. The very first Tamamo banner. It was rough. Yeah.
Just kind of the best. So I wanted to take a break from talking about Hellland and share my opinions on some of my favorite things in spring 2021. Let's start off by talking about our wonderful and beautiful home of YouTube.
Oh boy. YouTube is such a great place. I love YouTube. I would never say anything bad about YouTube. YouTube is good and all the creators on it are wonderful people and we get along in one big happy family. I've
never really talked about my influences as a creator before, but I personally strive to be an unholy creation of mainly Seth, Demo, and Super Eye Patch Wolf.
Hey people.
They are, or at least were, my favorite creators on the platform, and I owe a lot of both my humor and even my editing style.
The Super Eye Patch Wolf inspired video? Yeah. You literally put YouTube in D tier like 3 videos ago. It is what it is.
To all of them. I specifically want to spend some time talking about Mr. Eye Patch Wolf, partially because he's the one that uploads the most of the 3, but also because I totally stole this video idea from him. I really admire Eye Patch Wolf's drive to make videos on whatever he's passionate about, whether that be anime or Sonic hentai.
That is my defense of Sonic the Hedgehog porn. My mom and dad watch these videos, it's going to be really awkward the next time I visit, so I hope it was worth it.
I love that Super Eye Patch Wolf video, by the way. The Sonic video, it's very good.
While I do think it's kind of sad that his videos on anime are becoming less and less common, his passion for what he does really shows in every single one of his videos. While he definitely does not need a shout out from me, I hope that I can convince you to give some of his content a try. He has quite the backlog, so if you're looking for a place to start, my personal favorites are his deep dives into the worlds of fake psychics and wrestling. I basically didn't know anything about either of these topics going into them, and yet his coverage of them has been really interesting. And if you're looking for just anime content, his series on the state of Shonen Jump is something that I look forward to every single year. The other channel I wanted to
His Dell video is very good. Yes, his Dell video is very good.
talk about is also something that is long overdue, but I need to give a little bit of context. Back in March, I was sitting on a half-finished version of You Should Try Arknights for weeks. Due to both my own limitations and the fact that I was using Windows Movie Maker, I lost all confidence in the project and was ready to move on. Then, with perfect timing, my favorite Arknights YouTuber made a content creator contest. Filled with the feeling of it's now or never, I researched editing software and remade the video from scratch. And you all liked it. Kaiser, I know you watch my videos, and I hope that you're watching this one because I genuinely want to say thank you. Thank you for making what I think is some of the best Arknights content that's out there right now, and thank you for giving me the motivation to make my channel.
Shout out to Kaiser MLG, by the way. Still making good content. Still uploading more consistent than me. What a fucking awesome dude. Awesome channel. If you watch Seth, you watch Mandalore too. I don't watch Mandalore as much. But I have seen a decent amount of Mandalore's videos.
Let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted.
So that was a fucking lie.
As a self-proclaimed elder weeb, I find it kind of embarrassing that I really have not watched a lot of anime this year.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. So starting out, okay, we can do a little thing. We can do a little thing here. Megalobox, really good. Nomad, really good. Oh wait, am I lagging? Am I lagging or something? What's going on? A lot of people are mentioning that I'm lagging. YouTube is not giving me the I'm lagging thing yet. We good? Okay, anyway. Brief opinions. Megalobox, really good. ReZero is an interesting series. I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just I like it, but I don't know if it's good. There we go. I can explain it that way. Castlevania was mostly amazing until it wasn't. Attack on Titan is a show I have very complex feelings about. VV is really good. I feel like not enough people watched VV. VV was like really good. Really thoughtful exploration of androids and like the relation of AI and humans. VV Final Thoughts. And the animation and the fight scenes were fucking hilariously good. Be the Beginning was hot garbage fire, but it was funny. It was Be the Beginning is a wild ride into like Hot Topic, and what the fuck was that show? Zombieland Saga was really funny and will always be funny. The producer is hilarious. I'm going to talk about Tokyo Revengers in the video, and these two are manga. Burning Effect is just like a fighting. It's a manhwa. It's not a manga. Burning Effect is a manhwa, and it's pretty good. And this, I don't remember the name of this, but this was like a really cute manga. What part of Castlevania did I not find good? I don't like the ending of Castlevania. I thought the ending of Castlevania, like the very ending, like season 4, was rough. Yeah, rough. Rough is the word. Is the best word I can think of. Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. 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 Oh, that. Oh, that. Yeah, that. I want to talk about it obviously on stream because there are maybe people that haven't watched it. But Castlevania was really good until it wasn't. That's the.
Also, of the few shows that I have watched, a lot of them have been continuing seasons from older shows. And while I would recommend each of these shows to different people, I don't feel right.
Everything here is pretty alright. Be the beginning, he lied as naturally as he breathed.
Talking about them at length here. Instead, I want to give the spotlight to the over 200 chapters that I binged of Tokyo Revengers in 2 days. Of note is that I really do not consider myself a fan of Battle Shonen.
Oh, this was another one. I had to, so just in case you're wondering, whenever you see lines like this, I want you to understand something. I can't just get the subbed version of the anime and upload it because it will have the subtitles, and there's no way I'm editing out the subtitles because it's way too hard. So what I have to do is that I have to go to certain websites, download the whole entire raw episode of the anime onto my PC, find the small 2-second clip that I want to use, and then sub it over with the meme that I want to use.
Sure, I appreciate My Hero Academia as much as the next guy, but I've honestly grown jaded and just a little bit tired of how cliche the genre feels.
I hated Tokyo Revengers. I can understand that. I can understand that it's definitely not for everyone. Video getting viruses for entertainment. True.
Today, aren't we?
My attention mainly being focused to shows that are shonen-esque like Act Age or Promise Neverland. No, not that one.
God, rip Act Age. Holy shit. Oh god, rip Act Age. I think the news came out pretty recently after this video went live that the dude was just a fucking pedo. That the series was ending randomly with no actual ending. That was rough.
Again, I'm not saying it's bad, just me and it need to take a little bit of a break. All that being said, Tokyo Revengers is a battle shonen, and it's fantastic. Similar to something like My Hero, it doesn't
Ever read Oshinoko? No, I don't think I have.
throw away those old tropes and cliches, but instead uses them in a new and interesting way. For a perfect example, the main character Takemichi starts off as a weak crybaby, that literally being the name of the opening song. That's a pretty common starting place for the genre, and you would expect that after a training arc or two, he'd be ready to beat up some bullies. Throughout the whole entire series, Takemichi doesn't really ever get physically stronger. He needs to accomplish all of his goals in a short amount of time, and getting that much stronger takes years. So he's just out here doing the best he can. And if that means he literally has to get his ass beat over and over again just to stall for time, then a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. The manga was a fun ride and had—
Don't mention FMA, I'm unsubbing. This was specifically spring. What do you mean? This was specific. FMA did not come out in spring 2021. Or are you talking about the fucking goddamn Netflix adaptation? Because you better not be talking about that. Oh wait, what is Oshinoko? Is this like the Japanese name for one that I... Is it the Japanese name for an anime that I do know? Oh, no, I am reading Oshinoko. Yes, it's the Stars one. Yes, Oshinoko is really good. To be fair, I have like this weird obsession with acting series. I've read Oshinoko. I'm caught up to Oshinoko. I'm like literally on the most recent chapter. I read all of Act Age until I got canceled, and I've also I've read like there's like a bunch of yeah, I know none of you have ever seen this. Last Mask. I've watched all of this. I've watched all 51 episodes of Glass Mask. Y'all don't even know. I guarantee that none of you have ever watched this. I would just watch like anything to do with acting because I think acting is super cool. Or what's it called? Kasane? I think Kasane is another one. Kasane. This manga is pretty good. I haven't finished it, but I'm currently reading it. I like things with acting in it. Acting's cool.
had some wild twist, and
you got over 8.0.
So far, the anime seems to be doing a good job at living up to the hype. I, like everyone else, watched it. And yeah, it's good. I know that a lot of you have probably already watched the show and also have watched a ton of other videos about the show, so I'll be brief. The thing I found most impressive was that Invincible manages to handle mature topics while still being, at its heart, a superhero show. Similar series such as The Boys or Watchmen, while great in their own right, are much more of a satire or parody of the genre as a whole. Less superhero show, more show that uses superheroes to drive home a point. While Invincible does get dark on occasion, it never really stops feeling like a Saturday morning cartoon, just with a few added side dishes of marriage problems, murder, and genocide.
Oh no!
It also has the best meme of the year so far. So, I have a spy thriller that I want to recommend. Whatever ideas those two words just put in your head, throw them out, because Patriot...
Yeah, Invincible was a thing that... No, watch it, going back and watching this is actually pretty well. It's like, holy shit, Invincible's a thing. Season 2 is similarly coming out.
Is probably none of them. Patriot is about an American spy named John, and the show is a thriller that slowly builds up tension as it goes on. But Patriot is not interested in the flashy escapades of 007. It details the life of a man who has been working a job for over a decade and hates every second of it. A man that has been asked over and over again to do unspeakable things in the name of his country. A man that just wants a goddamn chair.
They were supposed to get this place outfitted.
Yeah.
It would look better outfitted.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to fire somebody.
Okay. Maybe get me a chair, too.
Well, yeah.
If nothing else, the series is definitely unique. Scenes are often cut suddenly or even go on much longer than expected, seemingly just to unsettle the viewer. It also frequently mixes clashing genres such as comedy and suspense. I know I'm kind of being vague here, but I think that with this show,
I absolutely adore this scene, by the way. This scene is absolutely wonderful. There's a 3-minute scene of rock, paper, scissors, and it is the most tense scene in maybe the whole entire show. And I cannot explain to you. I cannot even begin, because Patriot's just a fucking wild show. I cannot explain to you why a 3-minute rock, paper, scissors match is the most intense shit you'll ever see in your life. You have to watch this show. It's not for everyone, but holy shit, this show is so wild.
less you know, the better. But if you're ever in the mood for a unique slow burn of a thriller, I highly recommend giving Patriot a look. So, video games are a weird topic to try to put inside of this video. Unlike anime, I have been playing a lot of games, just not new games. I've been logging quite a few hours into Apex, Siege, Bad Game, and even Final Fantasy XIV, but it just feels weird to cover them here. That only leaves me with one new game to talk about. But oh boy, is it a good one.
Monster Hunter Rise, good. We're looking forward to Sunbreaker.
I've made a few references here and there, so this may not come as a surprise, but I am a massive fan of Monster Hunter. The latest entry in the series, Monster Hunter Rise, has been everything I hoped it would be. For anyone who has never played Monster Hunter, I'm sorry for your loss, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. This series has been amazing and has only kept getting better with each new release. Rise continues this upwards trend by fixing almost every major issue that Monster Hunter World had. Clutch claw spamming? Gone. Infinite deco grinding? Get it out of here. Mizutsude? Back in the game, and with a new theme. In addition, every new feature
Sadly, no Switch. Monster Hunter Rise is on PC now. It just got ported to PC.
that Rise added, such as the Silkbines and the Ninja Dogs, were awesome. Look, I understand why some people really don't like this series. It's grindy, janky, and a little bit weird, but I personally don't think I will ever get bored of the simple pleasure of using a...
Oh, I do know this. This is not a bit, by the way. Watch me just getting fucking bodied like an idiot by this Tigrex.
sword that is way too big to beat up a monster that is way too big.
God, I'm so good at video games. God, I'm so good at video games. Which would just randomly wirebug in the middle of the air. Tigrex slaps me down. I do it again. Tigrex turns around. Are you kidding me? Tigrex just like turns around and looks at me. Just like, did you not learn? Super iPad 12 inspiration was super clear. Was keeping up with seasonal releases not feasible? So yes and no. So it was technically feasible, but around this time I started going through a lot of different stuff, and you can see that, yeah, so a lot of these videos down here, there's like the half and half. These videos down here were all made pretty close to each other, and then around the visual novel video, I had to slow down content creation by quite a bit because of all the stuff that was going on in my and so they were theoretically possible to keep this up, but I had to slow down content creation, and the reason that these got cut is because if you see, this is still, to this date, my least viewed video. Like, people just don't care. And like, I don't do YouTube for a job, I do it because it's fun. So in theory, I could still make these, but it does feel really disheartening when and I will be completely transparent with you right here. This video, Dio's opinions on every operator in Arknight, took me 2 days. Took me 2 days to do everything. Took me 2 days to script it, record the audio, and edit it, because there's barely any editing in this video. It's very easy. This video took me 2 days. This video, with all of the editing that I did, to get even getting the footage for Longsword, getting the footage for all of this, downloading raw episodes of anime to sub memes over it, and all of the different editing, all of the different clips that I took. This video took me maybe a week, and to see the difference between 73,000 views for a video that took me, I don't know, maybe a day and a half, versus spending a week on a video that I think is really good and then getting 2.5 is really rough. Even though I don't do this for money, that just feels bad on an emotional level.
Out of everything that I've watched and played this year, the thing that I hold the most dear is actually rewatching a show that I've already seen multiple times. As I've gotten older, and the amount of time that I have to watch media has gotten smaller and smaller, I've noticed I've started to avoid revisiting older series. It's just hard to internally justify watching Code Geass for the 13th time, when just right around the corner there could be something that I like even more. But through some chance, me and a couple of my friends sat down and watched both seasons of Spice and Wolf. The series of Spice and Wolf has always meant a lot to me in a way that's really hard to describe with words. It's actually pretty difficult for me to talk about the show, and by extension the 20+ novels, without delving into a full review. Everything from the comfy atmosphere to the wonderful interactions between Holo and a middle-aged man just trying to do his best. It all brought back a flood of nostalgia when I rewatched it, and getting to share that experience with some of my closest friends.
I'm setting this up. This doesn't look amazing, but I found this was promotional art for JoJo's. And I cut all of them out individually in GIMP so that it didn't look that bad. I found this, and then I overlaid a whole bunch of stuff. This is 7 different layers in DaVinci. This scene may have took half as long as the whole entire video for the other one. It's just it is what it is. By the way, I got my $20. That fucking idiot doesn't even know. Anyway, music. I think the music is all in here. This video is Golden Hour from Life is Strange.
Who were introduced to the series for the first time has definitely been my favorite thing this whole year. Unlike the rest of the things that I've talked about in this video, this is not just a recommendation to watch Spice and Wolf. I mean, it is. But more than that, it's a reminder to try and always do what you love. Whether that be watching anime, rolling on that next banner, or finally starting that YouTube career. I know this is cheesy and probably something you already know at heart, but it's also something that's so easy to forget as the days go by. Now, if you don't mind, I have some anime to rewatch.
Fuck. I like this video. I know I'm super biased, and I said I was going to be super biased, but I really like this video. I'm gonna put this in S tier. None of you can stop me. No FMA. She. Are you talking about the Netflix anime? The Netflix FMA? Because no, I'm not gonna fucking.
Welcome to my video. This is Dio, and today we're gonna be trying.
I forgot I mimicked EchoJet here.
Something a little bit different. We all know that Arknights can be a pretty difficult game, just a tad hard at times, a little bit of a prick.
Does anyone? I want to hear fuck that stream. Me taking 4 hours to beat that one stage. God damn.
Excuse me, what?
So, being the benevolent man of intellect that I am, I decided to make a guide that would allow anyone to clear 95% of the content in Arknights. All you have to do is follow my patented 2-step formula that I like to call JUS. Just use Surtur. Now, I get it. From the name alone, you might not fully understand, so let me break it down. This is Surtur. He's a primordial being of chaos and fire that's from Norse mythology. Around 1 year ago from today, the weebs over at Hypergriff uncovered this ancient myth and turned it into an
Random little note here. I love this GIF. I love this GIF with all of my heart. This is one of my favorite GIFs
today.
That
The
exists.
weebs over at Hypergriff.
I love this GIF so much. I just love like all these dudes just like slowly measuring this skull, this like unearthing this skull. They're like, yeah, so like, you know, we're gonna like slowly dust it off.
Hypergriff
like,
uncovered this ancient myth.
this man. This man.
And turned it into an anime girl that likes ice cream. Once you have
What movie is that from? I actually don't know where it's from. I have no idea where it's from. I just love the GIF.
Successfully located cultural appropriation chain in your roster, you can begin with the first step in this flawless plan. Put Surtur onto a team, and then deploy her onto a map. When this step is done correctly, you can take a few seconds to congratulate yourself, because you are now officially halfway done with beating every map in Arknights. But don't get too careful.
Oh wait, Spy X Family anime coming out. Hype as fuck for that. Wait, did JUS actually become a meme in the community? I don't think it did. Because Just Use Surtur was already a meme, wasn't it? Or was it? I don't actually remember if it was a meme back then. Just the opposite of Udyr. I don't think I've seen specifically the term JUS outside of my community. Just take credit for it.
Carried away, because the next step is where things can get a little bit tricky. After a few seconds, a big yellow button will appear directly above Surtur. You're going to want to take your finger and press it. Now, I know that might sound scary, but when done correctly, you can then sit back and watch as all of your life's problems dissolve into nothingness. New chapter giving you trouble? Big yellow button. CC got you down? Big yellow button. Frost Nova a little bit too alive? Big yellow button. On the brink of World War III? That's right, it's a big yellow... Don't actually do that last one. Fellas, if you can follow these 2 easy steps, soon you too can clear stages without making the walk of shame over to Kyostinvi's channel. Soon, with my exceptional guidance, you'll finally have that hot lover and your dream job you've always wanted. Hell, if you order now, I'll even throw in a free hot tub free of charge.
There are no free hot tubs. Sorry guys, there are no free hot tubs.
When in doubt, all you have to remember is JUS. Just use Surtur. What? You serious? I have just received the bone-chilling information.
This took me so long to set up. Can I just JUS myself? Yeah, just JUS my way through calculus. This took me a hilarious amount of time to set up this graphic, and it was super worth it.
And that not everyone that plays Arknights has Surtur.
How the hell do they kill your cunt? I still actually, if I didn't have Surtur, I don't know how I'd clear cunt. I'm such a fucking...
Now I understand that this is absolutely terrible news. It's in times of deep sorrow such as these that we as a community need to band together. And so I, being a responsible content creator, am going to do the right thing by doubling down and giving you the next 3 bonus steps in the JUS process. Step 3. Have friends. Friends are wonderful creatures. They can be there for you in a way that no one else really can.
It is from Fire Emblem, yes. I think it's from Fire Emblem Awakening. I think that song is, and what if I can't do it? What if I can't live up to her ideals? I think that's the full title.
They can raise you up so that you can stand on mountains and even walk on stormy seas. But more importantly than any of that sappy shit, they can own Surtur, meaning that you can convince them into letting you use that Surtur. What's that, little Timmy? You don't have any friends? Well, don't worry, I came prepared this time with my next step. Step 4. Have money. You see, even though the chances are small, you can roll Surtur on any banner in Arknights. All you need is money and a little bit of luck. Hell, you know what? If you have enough money, you don't even need luck. Just keep rolling until you've either gone bankrupt or have acquired victory. What's that? You don't have friends or money?
Stop it. Get some help.
But fear not, because the final and ultimate step of JUS can solve even the hardest of issues. Step 5. Get a job. Now I know that might sound insensitive given the current world tendency, but never...
World tendency joke. Holy shit. Was Demon Souls announced by then? It must have been, because I have no idea why else I'd make a world tendency joke.
Never fear, Dio and his brilliant plans are here, because even though the job market may be rough, OnlyFans is always up to snuff. I know you might not want to take images in your underwear, but that's fine, as long as you remember you're always 1 foot pick away from being a millionaire.
I made this joke, by the way. Those were all rhymes. I made this joke, by the way, at the same time that Sezeth made his Only Feet channel. If you don't know, Sezeth does have an OnlyFans with feet pics.
And there we have it, lads. All 5 easy steps of the JUS pyramid scheme. For those of you that weren't paying attention, let's do a quick rundown. First, when you're stuck on a map, try just using Surtur. If you don't have Surtur, then immediately make an OnlyFans account dedicated to your feet so that you can bribe your friends into using their Surtur. This strategy works 100% of the time, so if all else fails, it's not the plan's fault, it's humanity's. Simply transcend your mortal coil with step 6, become a god. Once you have ascended into your higher plane of being, there will be nothing left to stop you. There will be nothing left to stop you. There will be nothing left.
This is my best meme video. I like this meme video. I like the obscure, haha, random funny comment. Very my comedy. Where is this video? There it is. S tier video. Maybe not S tier. Looking at the other 2 videos, I think this is an A tier video. There's like high A though. Because looking at the other 2 videos, I do like the other 2 videos more. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed how stupid it was. S tier, come on. All right. We'll put it S tier for now. Oh. Okay. So, can we have a chat? I regret doing this video. So I remember, this was around the time I remember, so this right here was around the time where I had a lot of time to do what I wanted with YouTube. And then university started back up, and you could tell, because I made a very short video, the shortest video that I'd ever made, not including the video, followed by a repeat of a video that I'd already done. And it's not like I hate this video, but I do regret doing this video because I really didn't have like any cool ideas. I just literally ran out of content, and I needed something because I wanted to upload every week at the still. And I was like, man, I just really need content because I need something that I can edit fast. I've since given up on that idea, and I just fucking upload whatever I want to. But this video I do feel was pretty forced.
Hey YouTube, Dio here. I would never lie to my audience. Or
you
would
can tell I didn't even edit that properly.
Why yes, it is true that I have already made this video. However, my previous attempt contains a pretty big white lie, as I skipped over a lot of the characters by putting them into large groups. I did this to enough operators that I think it warrants the creation of this video. So this sequel is for the outcasts, the unsung heroes of Arknights, the units that I totally did not forget to put in my first video. Fair warning, again, there are still a lot of characters in this game. So while I tried my best to single out a lot of them, some of them are still
Dio and videos, they've been less iconic too.
grouped up so I don't repeat myself. Without further ado, here are my opinions on every other operator in Arknights. Definitely on my meme radar. I deadass thought these 2 were the same character until I looked them up, and I still don't know what either of them does. A pleasant surprise, but a welcome one that came home on the last limited banner. Definitely looking forward to her skin. I deeply regret not being able to pull these 3. I want them more than some 6 stars.
I got all 3 of them by now, because Arknights is a good game.
Shamir and Beeswax have gameplay that looks really fun, and I just like Flint for no particular reason.
Oh, well, there you go.
All of them have a really unique kit that just does not work, and it's extra sad here because I actually like all of their designs. You can't fool me, this is a Mia in cosplay. Who gave this small shy girl a chainsaw?
Say the line, Bart!
I'm an angel with a shotgun. Yet another surprisingly good 5-star healer. Why is this class so stacked? You can try and deny it, Polarisu, but I know the truth. Very surprised and happy that she has not been directly powered.
Oh, I think that was the first reference to the Harmesis channel, so I was definitely in the Harmesis at that point.
Prepped yet. I strongly recommend watching or even reading Hoseki no Kuni. It's a really unique series that I don't see getting enough love. Oh, and Arane is kinda cool, I guess. Really cool E2 art. Really cool character design. Really cool character design, but has a generic kit. What is her outfit? Are you responsible for that disaster? They really did try their best to make this character edgy, but he's just kinda chill. I've noticed that it's kind of hard to give pushers and pullers their own special niches. Sure, Snowscent does silence, but you really only need one of each archetype, and I'm not sure how Hypergriff plans on solving that issue in the future. Wholesome. More wholesome. Not so wholesome. Finally came home after a very long time in waiting, and yeah, she's living up to the hype. Her E2 materials are kinda rough though. The perfect unit for 1/7.
This is just raw. I feel like most of this is just uninspired. I don't know. This might be no shade if you like this video. I just personally don't like this video because I remember having to force like a lot of these jokes.
Jokes aside,
making this video was rough.
Holy shit, she has been useful. I was honestly pulling mostly for Rosmantis, but I am glad I got her.
I've only had
Rosmantis
for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Back in my day, we had
that is the Malphite anniversary art. I don't think it's a bad video. As somebody mentioned, I do think that like quote unquote it's quote unquote higher content than most of the videos, like just like stream highlights or whatever. But
YouTubers out here fighting over whether this character was good or not. Either way, her tail's fluffy, so she's alright. The challenge run.
To be fair, it is still like I did try my best to like come up with jokes and like quips, and this is pre-recorded and stuff like that. And I don't think the editing's bad. Like it's still on point, but there's just like not much editing much to it.
If I was not a thinking man, I would use you a lot more. Honestly, a really cool design in both character and gameplay. One small problem though. How you gotta name her Glaucus and then not give her a Glock? I mean, come on. She would be S tier if tier lists were based on E2 art alone.
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy.
Nothing is wrong with them, they just are directly overshadowed by other operators. Out of everyone, I could definitely see this group getting a small buff into viability in the future.
Haha. Haha.
Literal Playboy bunny. When 2 snipers just doesn't cut it. 4-star slot machine. After a solid 10 minutes of research, I'm still not confident I can pronounce his name.
I'm still not sorry.
I have no idea how I forgot her in my first video. She's amazing with a really cool third skill and really cool skins. You don't need to dismay with this duo of dependable dogs around. Huge help in the early game and has a cool free skin. I really want to see a 6-star version of her archetype. Angelina kinda comes close, but she has her own thing going on. This is embarrassing, but I remember back at release looking at his ears and thinking he was a cat for a solid 2 days. And then I saw his tail. Can you just imagine if her mistranslated skill was real? Honestly confused as to why she's so rare. Hypergriff, please give Yato a 5-star ult. Her character design is really cool, and fast redeploy Vanguard is still unique to her. And unless I forgot someone, which I probably did, those are my opinions on every operator currently in Arknights. However, since I know I'm going to get comments about them, I can do you one better and talk about the units that have not been released yet on global servers. So here are my opinions on every operator not in Arknights.
Remember what Susura was called Susura? I don't know what you remember, but she's still Susura.
Spoilers for CN, obviously. As a person that actively plays Rainbow Six, I'm really impressed at how well they translated the characters into Arknights. And as a Blitz main in Rainbow Six, I'm really excited to be low tier in multiple games. It's odd to me that they didn't learn their lesson with Laze, and I'm interested to see how they're going to fix this archetype.
This was definitely before the passenger buff.
You're a furry. I mean, listen, no judgment. That's absolutely fine. But you're a furry. Is it weird for me to genuinely be more hyped for 4 stars than most 6 stars? Because I mean, they're getting really experimental with these 4 stars. Super looking forward to Scotty Kya and my ex-wife. However, I am worried that this banner will break people.
This banner. I don't think I streamed this. I don't think I streamed my polls for this banner, but this banner was rough.
So I am super glad, Ia, that they are giving us a free 6-star. But I do wonder if it wouldn't have been better to have her in the gacha so that we can keep the tradition of character alts being free. Quick aside, I love all of the alternate character designs. MILF Cruise.
Yeah,
so we can keep the trend of character alts being free. Yeah. That didn't age well.
The single character that I am looking forward to the most. Her character design is really great, and her passive is maybe the coolest thing I've seen in the game. Not as hype as Saga IMO, but still pretty good. It's just that I can't associate with other AoE casters. Yet another cool as hell looking medic. It's surprising how long it's been since we've gotten just a normal 6-star sniper.
I did not get copyright strike for this joke. I did not get copyright strike for this joke. It's going to be hilarious if this stream gets copyright strike for this joke.
So, we have once again entered Funny Town territory. Looks alright, nothing I'm sorry, what? The full trap team with W, Frost, and Robin is beginning to look pretty funny. I really like the new trend of giving AoE casters an Ifrit mode with their first skill. Also, Iris's Big Boom skill looks pretty fun. I'm really glad that they're adding a lower rarity version of this archetype. Tank Manticore is an interesting idea, but I'll have to see how it works in practice.
I have to see how it works in practice, old Dio said. Yeah. Gonna have to see how it works in practice to see if that archetype's any good. Oh, yeah. Oh boy. I wonder if that archetype's really cool, huh? I wonder if it's good.
At last, we have arrived at the final true boss of Arknights. I mean, what else is there to say? Top tier character design, best gameplay in the game. Cannot wait until we actually find him.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, thanks for watching.
Vsauce was so weird. Oh, whoops, I accidentally clicked on Kaiser's video.
The extreme PT.
I even remember, Kaiser asked me, he's like, hey, how hard are these videos to edit? And I'm like, no, they're really easy to edit. They're literally free views. And he goes, oh, hell yeah. And then he just made the video.
SD from the Chernobyl incident has caused her to develop schizophrenia.
He's like,
her body
wait
has
a minute.
self-healing.
I'll just do that thing. He's like, I remember we were in the Harvest's chat. He was just like, he's like, those aren't hard to edit, right? And I'm like, no, they're really easy. He's like, why am I not doing that? Oh, how's my maxed out Kurara? I do have a maxed out Kurara, and welcome back to the chat, Nia. Have some money to pull the upcoming NTR banner, Malor. Yeah, we'll see how well that goes. Kurara is maxed out, by the way. The only thing that isn't maxed out is Trust, because I actually have to use the character for... I don't know why the alerts aren't working well. Anyway, this video is probably fine. I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. But okay, maybe we don't put it in actually regret, but I'm putting it in C tier. It's not even as funny as the first one. It doesn't have as the jokes aren't as good. I used my entire fund to get Blemish on. Did you get Blemish on though?
Hey there.
An interesting one. I think this is the only... Yeah, this is the Alchemy Stars video. It's the only one that I did that wasn't on FGO or Arknights. Oh, PGR, I forgot. I did give her, but at what cost? Well, you know the cost. I'm pretty sure you explicitly know the cost. Alchemy Stars. I still play this game, by the way, in case you're curious.
Do you like Fire Emblem? Do you like puzzle games? Do you have the overwhelming feeling that you've become addicted to the type of game that is negatively impacting not only your mental health, but your monetary stability? Well, I have good news for you, because Alchemy Stars is pretty alright. Heads up, this video is going to be a little weird. It's my first time reviewing a game that has not been out for over a year. And over my many years as a gacha connoisseur, I've learned that no matter how good or bad a gacha game launches, it will really live or die based on how well the devs...
Who knows? You can tell by now. I've set up this before, but I think I track this really well. I manually track these, but there's not a... Well, there is a program in DaVinci that does track things, but it's very easily... It very easily makes mistakes to the point where I have to manually track. So this is manually tracked. I just go frame by frame and manually track one frame at a time so that it follows the glass. And I think at this point I've gotten pretty good at it. Like speeding up and slowing down.
And over my many years as a gacha connoisseur,
slowly up and then it goes quickly down with the glass. I think that's pretty fine. Looks like a little bit off here.
No matter how...
Yeah, it doesn't... Yeah, so I literally clicked on the one point where it was lagging behind. But pretty fine. Have you played Baba Is You? Yes, I have. I never beat Baba Is You because Baba Is You is a very hard game.
Good or bad a gacha game launches, it will really live or die.
Also, Fallen Edelgard. Holy shit, what a joke.
Based on how well the devs can support it throughout years to come. So, depending on when you're watching this video, take everything I say with an extra grain of salt. With all that out of the way, let's try to answer a simple question. Should you try Alchemy Stars? So, I know I just made the Fire Emblem...
We're going to review Dokkan. No, because I've never played Dokkan.
...comparison, but it's actually much closer to Bejeweled than Three Houses, albeit a really advanced version of Bejeweled with waifus. Moving on, the gameplay might look imposing, but the basics are easy. Each turn, you pick a color, and you can walk on each of the squares that are touching that are the same color. The more squares you walk over in one turn, the more damage you get and the prettier animations. It quickly becomes much more complicated than that, but the game does a decent job.
I remember being stuck on this boss for way longer than I should have.
At explaining its new mechanics as they come up. I'm more than a few chapters in at this point, and the game has introduced a ton of new mechanics, enemies, game modes, and bosses, and yet I really don't feel overwhelmed. The only complaint I've heard of the gameplay is that it can be rather random, but in my opinion, that's a positive because you have to try to make the best.
Yeah, no, the Fallen Edelgard vs. Chen controversy on steroids, yeah, it... Like, I complain about Arknights because I like Arknights and I want it to be the game that I want it to be, obviously. Like, there are certain things that I like.
balance patches that continuously shake up the meta, and I want Arknights to do that more often. But man, oh man, Fire Emblem Heroes is a nightmare of a game. Fallen Elgard. How does it even get past QA?
Of a random situation.
Well, that's either they don't have QA.
And there are also things like active skills that allow you to control that RNG to a decent extent. All this adds up to gameplay that's rather skill focused and seems like it will be fun for quite a while. Moving on to the
skill focused, you said, lying easily as he breathed.
Secondary systems requires me to address a small elephant in the room. This game feels and looks a lot like Arknights. Similar base building mechanics, same gacha and pity rate system, similar chapter loadout design, and the same exact feeling of despair that I get when I don't roll the character I want. Now let me be absolutely clear.
I see this as an absolute win.
Ultimately, all this really means is that Alchemy Stars is mimicking a good game. Just like Arknights, its gacha seems rather free-to-play friendly.
This was a mistake, and this is one of the problems that reviewing a game so close to release will have. Alchemy Stars is not free-to-play friendly, or not anywhere near as free-to-play friendly as Arknights, for the reason that I mentioned before. That being that dupes are borderline necessary for some of the classes in this game. Also, welcome back to Dom. There are some classes in this game that require you not only to get one dupe, but all of them. Like 5 copies of the same fucking character for an SR, which is ridiculous. But it is what it is. Because I did not have a full understanding about how necessary something like preemptive would be on some characters.
Some secondary systems on top of already decent rates to help players get the unit that they want. Oh, and if Thorns is ever released into Alchemy Stars, I'm guaranteed to not roll him.
Took me 6 months to quit Alchemy Stars? No, that sounds about right. Because the game is fine. The game is actually pretty good, but
the story definitely exists. Now, I can't really make judgments on the main story just yet because gachas have a very consistent tendency to start.
Here, I can make judgments on it. It's not good.
Start off either generic or bad and then suddenly decide to become good. Aside from a decently interesting world, all I can really say right now is that it's not good, not bad, but it's definitely there. The characters, on the other hand, are an interesting topic. Just like the story, I feel like most of the characters are just okay. But I found myself attached to them a lot faster than I usually would be. And that's probably because Tordog are gacha game masterminds by adding one of the best mechanics I've ever seen added in a couple of years. They added a phone to a phone game.
Do you guys want have phones? Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
You think I'm joking, but I'm really not. See, gachas...
I still think this is a very good idea, by the way, from a game design perspective. Because I think that, even one of the things that I mentioned back in my Arknights review is that there are a lot of characters because gachas need to release more characters, obviously. But you get to like hundreds and hundreds of characters. How do you get people to attach to those characters? Well, in Arknights' case, all that it does is that it has like paragraphs upon paragraphs of, and like maybe some audio logs, and no one wants to read that. But like these fictional characters texting you "Good morning," it actually is a pretty good idea. It's a really good idea. They ripped it off from the famous Nut-taku game. Crush. What the fuck is that? Anyway, no, this is a good system. Azulane is a system like this now. That's interesting. They didn't used to. I know that for a fact. They used to play Azulane. I'm not joking. Oh god, this is a good ass idea for a gacha game.
Need to endear a large cast of characters to players. Some people will have preferences towards designs or gameplay, but for those that care about personality, all that we really have in gachas is usually the main story. But the main story often sidelines a whole bunch of characters, and not everyone reads the main story. But in Alchemy Stars, every single character has multiple interactions over these fake text messages, some of them even leading to full-blown Fire Emblem type support missions. The system is honestly genius, and allows for the player to have time to notice all the small little character quirks. I did not care at all about this gorilla when I saw him in the main story, but when I got an unsolicited text message from him where he promised to kidnap me, I am now willing to sell my kidneys for this man.
This is still based, by the way.
So that was a pretty glowing review, but not everything was sunshine and rainbows. So here's a bundle of all of my nitpicks and or worries for the future of this game. Of note is that these are nitpicks and they're either small negatives or sometimes even neutrals that I'm just worried about. The biggest thing I found annoying and possibly worrying is that this game might be really grindy. I said might be because I'm not quite at endgame yet.
I was right about this, by the way.
and so I don't know if this changes down the line, but I don't think it will. To start off with, you're rather incentivized to make a monocolor team. Not only do the mechanics of the game incentivize this, but there's also a game mode where you literally have to use mono teams. With this in mind, you can get pretty easily hard stuck with progression because characters of the same color share upgrade materials. Yes, things like Spire do exist, but you can't farm it, and by the time that you've unlocked it, you probably had to grind 50 of these goddamn jars. Outside of that main complaint, the game is kind of laggy, especially on emulator.
This is still true.
Wow.
Yes, it did take 3.5 seconds for it to open up one menu.
Separate currencies for limited banners has always been a bad system. While not extremely important, dupes give some characters a noticeable power boost. And
A3 unit in this game so fast. You have to get to the progression is really grindy in this game, Cheese. I feel like once you get to endgame and Alchemy Stars, it's probably fine because you have things like Spire, right? You have things like Spire goes a long way to allow you to A3 a unit, and there's no like time lock. But like you can A3 a unit really fast in FGO when you're at endgame. But FGO is pretty fucking grindy. I do think that again, yeah. So when you're progressing into the game, because you're forced to do a mono-based team, we're not forced to, but you're heavily incentivized to do a mono-based team, and a lot of the mono-based team is going to share a lot of the same upgrade materials, and you don't have things like Spire because you're trying to upgrade your team. You can get really easily caught. I don't know if you remember, but you can get like when you're trying to get like your first units to A3, it's so hard. It's so suffering.
Lastly,
it's like if like the game incentivized you to use all the characters that had like the same exact upgrade material in Arknights. It would suck. It would feel bad. And it did feel bad.
The game's player base seems rather small, so finding information or help can be difficult. There's also the issue of the US server as a whole. This issue in particular is messy and based on a lot of speculation.
What even happened with this? I guess the US server's still up, so it's fine. That's such a weird situation.
So I won't go into details here. That being said, if you live in the US and are curious about the game, then you might want to look into how to download the global version. Overall, my first week with Alchemy Stars has been mostly positive. The gameplay is not only unique, but it seems like it has enough depth and mechanics to keep it interesting for years to come. The story is rather generic right now, but due to some genius game design, the characters are allowed to shine. And while there are some things that I'm not totally happy about, nothing seems like a real deal breaker yet. So, to answer the question, yeah, I think that Alchemy Stars is worth giving a try. Oh, and Sariel's Mess Girl, and it's not even close. Fuck you, fight me.
Well, I was wrong. Sariel is not Best Girl. Sariel is not Best Girl. Michael, but besides the point. We can all have mistakes every now and again. It was alright. It was like entirely harmless. Good B tier. Definitely better than some of my old stuff. And my opinion has changed on Michael's Best Girl. Hold on. This is Best Girl. Oh, I don't want to. What? Touch, tap, play. Everything you know about Michael. Oh, very, very